para ayudarle a alcanzar sus metas. I'm here to help you reach your goals. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Bagels & Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Husker Nation, now is the time.
Holy moly! Man, woman, and child did that. Put them in the aisle.
Diving touchdown, Nebraska.
Does he have enough? Is it long enough? It's going to be tipped. It's caught. How many tackles can one man break? He's to the 20. He's to the 10. He's on the way.
Totally unbelievable.
It's game day in Lincoln, America, and this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show is powered by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Come on.
Get up and get loud, Husker fans. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show starts now.
Good afternoon and happy game day in Lincoln, Nebraska. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. We are 3 hours from kickoff. Nebraska, Michigan State. Huskers 11.5-point favorites against the Spartans, trying to get to 4-1 for the second straight year. Sip, it's hot today. Warm out there.
Yeah, noon. It is noon. It is hot.
It is.
People are enjoying themselves. There's a lot of people downtown because it's gorgeous outside. The wind is whipping, so the flags are pointed north. Pointed north.
They're painted too.
Painted.
I guess
painted and pointed. How are you doing, Jake?
I'm great. This is it's always honest answers. A1 Automotive 11th and L, also at 5110 State Hill Drive. I'm pumped up. I had a chance to play a little golf this morning, just par 3 golf course with Taylor and swim. Nick was playing golf with us this morning.
What a life you lead.
And we watched a little football. There's some interesting scores right now. We'll get to that before we get to Nebraska, Michigan State. Let's go back to August 28th. The scene is you and I are with 90,000 Husker fans at Arrowhead Stadium.
Yes.
Nebraska pulls off a late interception by Malcolm Hartzog in the end zone to beat Cincinnati 20-17. Husker fans thought, well, good win. Since he's middle of the pack, Big 12. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Ever since that game, Cincinnati, who had 69 passing yards against Nebraska that day, has had 300 plus. And when we came into the studio just now at noon, it was 24-7 Cincinnati over Iowa State in the second quarter. And their offense is humming.
Yeah, they got, I think that you would agree on our show in the morning. I thought we gave Cincinnati its proper due. I thought that was a tough team.
I did too.
Yeah.
I'm saying Nebraska fans are smart fan base. However, it's still something where you want to win that game comfortably if you could.
Mm-hmm. You also, we got DP.
Oh, hang on.
I just have to update you. So the alumni band,
all right,
is going to fire up outside the window.
Okay.
So you can put
I'll
them
put
on
'em-
camera
I'll do
while you
that.
guys talk.
Yeah.
Thank you, DP.
You know, to do that, and they will fire it up. They're going to serenade you, Steven Sipple.
Oh,
They're
See if
going
you can hear them through the glass.
They're going to serenade you.
I see them.
Yeah.
Thank you, DP.
Yeah. So
And thank you to
we're going
them.
to put them up on the
Yes.
screen. Jake, you
I
got
will. We
them
have
up
to go right now.
Yep. We're gonna put
This
them
is
up on the
nice.
screen.
This is
There you are.
becoming a
They're on
regular
the-
occurrence.
right.
They're on the screen. There they go.
Right.
Fire it up.
Right.
Fire up the band.
Thank you, DP.
The
There
band
we
is
go.
going. Yeah. If you're watching the video stream, you can't hear them at all because we're in the studio. However, if you're watching, we have the alumni band outside getting fired up for game day here in
Nice.
Lincoln.
Nice. Look at him. You got the
at
leader
that.
of the band.
He is really getting after it
He's
right
really-
now.
the
Look at
cowbell.
that. I need more
He's getting after
cowbell.
me. He doesn't.
He's
need
an
more
SNL
cowbell.
skit by himself right there.
Look at him. What a
Who
what
needs
a
Will
scene.
Ferrell? We got the cowbellman outside right now.
What a scene in Lincoln.
It is an epic scene. Yes.
What
Thank
a
you.
scene in
Look at
Lincoln.
these guys. It is beautiful right now.
What a scene.
Thank you, band.
guys.
Thank you, guys. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Back to action here in Nebraska again. The score 24-7 Cincinnati over Iowa State at the moment. Iowa State driving at the 34 of Cincy. But you look at the stats in this game. Sorsby, not a great, stats aren't great. 5 of 13, 103 yards and a touchdown, but they've rushed for 160 yards. They've rushed for 160 midway through the second quarter.
See, Iowa State has some injuries in its secondary, but Cincinnati say, well, we don't care who's in your secondary. We're just going to run it.
Yeah, they're running it.
Yeah, we're
Like,
going to
okay,
run it. We're going to run it. So you can use your corners as an excuse, but we're going to run it. So
Look at these stats. Okay, Evan Pryor, 5 carries, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns, long of 30. Tawi Walker, backup, 5 carries, 49 yards, averaging 10 a carry. And Sorsby, 3 carries, 25 yards, 8.3 yards a carry. They're just blowing up Iowa State.
yeah, that Nebraska win looks better and better. It's a weekly discussion. Now, let's see where Cincinnati goes from here. Let's see how that game goes from here. You don't count out Iowa State. Now, that'll be really tough for Iowa State to come back on the road against Cincinnati.
Agreed.
Cincinnati's rolling. They're dangerous because Sorsby's dangerous, and you know that. I mean, we
Yes.
saw Sorsby as a dangerous quarterback, as a runner, and then he got going as a passer, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, mayhem.
Now, if you're just tuning in to hear an ambiance, we now have the alumni band inside playing. We're going to power through this because we are professionals.
Yeah, we can do it.
We are pros. Other scores you might be curious about, Sip. I think you and I, as well as most people, thought that Michigan would pummel Wisconsin. That still can happen.
I did.
That can happen. But right now, Michigan, Wisconsin tied at 7 with 9:10 to go in the second quarter.
Okay, let's see how that game unfolds. But that's a surprising score to me.
Agreed. Illinois only up 10-7 at Purdue in the second quarter. Now they're at the second and goal at the Purdue 6. They're about to score field goal or touchdown. But Illinois coming off the big win against USC. And before that, the bad loss to Indiana by 53 points.
Keep it coming. Give me some more.
In the SEC, Georgia up on Kentucky 14-7. Okay. Kirby, your boy Kirby.
Yeah. Tough. I mean, they went out, they marched it down on their first possession and like 12 plays, 75 yards, and Kentucky kept fighting. So
I would say this now. This game of interest, Clemson, North Carolina. Belichick trying to get back on track. Clemson trying to do something right. How about Clemson up 28-3 at Bill Belichick's struggling North Carolina Tar Heels? They suck. They straight up suck.
Yeah, I mean, Clemson has so much talent at the skill positions. They just got to let those guys cook now, and they're cooking today.
Yeah, Klubnik 11-12, 184, 3 touchdowns in the game.
He's cooking.
Yeah, and North Carolina offensively has 6 carries for 10 yards, and they have 44 passing yards.
That's bad.
Bill Belichick has been an abject disaster through 5 games at Carolina.
Apparently, he doesn't have much talent there.
No. By the way, if you want to chime in, 402-464-5685. Call or text as always. And roll call on YouTube. Where are you listening from? You can always chime there on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're at. We'd appreciate hearing from you guys. Giltner says have the band play in studio. They are basically in the studio right now. I can hear them.
They sound great, by the way. This is the alumni band.
The alumni band. Band.
And this has become sort of a thing at the ticket on game day.
Yes, it has.
We like it.
It has. Now, for Nebraska, Michigan State, line again. By the way, now it's 35-3 Clemson. There is 10 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Oh,
it's
God.
35-3 Clemson.
Oh, God. That's a wicked pace. That's a wicked pace.
They're going to score 100.
I mean, that's the problem.
And by the way, if you're Dabo, you're trying to exercise some demons. You're trying to prove Belichick, hey, I'm the guy still here.
Look at these people.
Yeah, we got people outside taking selfies in front of us.
Yeah,
It's mayhem in downtown Lincoln.
Yeah.
Nebraska, Michigan State. Michigan State, Aiden Childs, we like the quarterback for them.
Okay.
Running game is suspect, I'd say at best. Not horrible, but suspect for the Spartans.
Yeah, they don't have a great run game.
Nebraska has to prove that, they can play a full 4 quarters against a team that has an okay offense and a quarterback that doesn't want to be a running quarterback but can run the football. 2 weeks ago against Michigan, Bryce Underwood ran the ball a couple times. Obviously the long run untouched to the end zone, but Nebraska has to find a way to stop the run.
Yeah. The conventional run and the quarterback run. Yeah, the conventional run and the quarterback run. So Michigan State ranks 72nd nationally in rushing offense. They don't scare you too much. Their leading running back is Mekhi Frazier. The thing about him and the thing about his backup is they're big guys. He's 5'10", 210 in that range, and their backup's 227. He's mostly just a between the tackles guy, but that's where Nebraska's a little vulnerable. You don't want to see those guys get going. We haven't talked about him at all, Mekhi Frazier and his backup. I hope we're not talking about him on Monday.
I agree in terms of, hey, what happened there? These guys are not. This is not, Justice Haynes coming in here from Michigan or Coleman from Washington. These are average backs in the Big Ten.
No, and that's what
average.
You want the game to end and you be thinking, yeah, they're average. They were average, and they didn't even get 120 yards between them. That's what you're hoping. Jake, this whole season, there's just this trick Nebraska's got to pull off. As a coaching staff, as a team. Nebraska ranks 86th in rushing offense. They rank 108th in rushing defense. Okay, those are stats you don't want, and they're 99th in the red zone. So you got to work around that stuff.
Yes.
So Jake, you got to work around it. How do you work around it? There's ways to do it. Nebraska's done pretty well so far doing it, but it's sort of this weekly trick they have to pull off.
Yeah, you're right. Dana Holgerson has done a lot of good things for Nebraska, and Raiola's had great stats. But you're right. Nebraska in Big Ten play specifically. You saw issues against Akron and Houston Christian games. You blew the team out in red zone scoring. That stuff crops up when you get to the better opponents. Yeah. Nebraska has to find a way to get in the end zone when they get inside the 20. And Bill has said before in the show, anybody can move the ball from 20 to 20. It is inside the 20 where you got to be creative and have your star step up and at great play calls.
And it helps. Well, and it helps to have a run game.
Yes. Which last year, Nebraska, Dowdell had 12 touchdowns. A lot of those in the red zone.
He was good from the 5 in.
Which has not been the case this year for Nebraska.
No, they don't have that guy. So it gets, you have to, there's a lot that has to happen. It also would be nice if you weren't always in the red zone, if you had a couple home run hitters.
Which is true. You haven't had the big play. We asked before the show, what's the longest play they've had this year for a touchdown? I don't know the answer. Cincinnati, no long plays in terms of scoring plays in that game.
Right.
I don't know the longest play they've had.
They haven't had a lot of that, and they don't have that kind of running back as a starter. And Emmett's a good hard runner. He's not a breakaway guy, but they have that in the passing game. So we'll see if that gets going. They're 3-1. I don't want to talk about Nebraska like they're 1-3. They're 3-1. They've worked around their issues pretty well. They were in the game with Michigan all game long. They probably get tired of hearing how bad they are, and hopefully they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder today.
That's the problem. Nebraska fans knew this season you didn't have Ohio State in the schedule, didn't have Oregon. You had a chance to get a marquee victory at home against Michigan, and like you said, the season has so much to play for. The season you can still make the playoff if you play. That's still in play. It's just disappointment to say we want to get over the hump and have that moment that says, yes, we've arrived, or we're on the move to arrival, and didn't get that win against a beatable Michigan team.
Yeah. So that was the disappointment. This isn't that type of game where you say you beat Michigan State and say, yes, you've arrived.
No, absolutely not.
It does begin a critical October, right?
A month where we pointed out that Nebraska right now will be favored in every game. I think Minnesota could be a push because it's a night game. They're not a great Minnesota team, but it's a night game, Friday night game. I think they'll be favorites at Maryland by a couple points. Minnesota and Northwestern, obviously, big favorites against Northwestern to end the month. And favorites doesn't mean anything. You got to play the games, but you are supposed to be the better team. Go be the better team.
Boy, people expect that today. Most people you talk to just believe that Nebraska can sprint off today. I will not go in that direction with this team until I see it get better up front on both sides. I didn't think I'd be saying that about the offensive line. I think we spent most of the offseason with me saying I think that can be a strength. It's been all right so far. I expected the offensive line to be better. Let's see it today. Let's see. I mean, we're going to see some changes today.
We will. I've got a comment I want to put on YouTube on the chat. Kendall says this. Kendall says, "I hope Dylan can show a little urgency in the pocket and not be as nonchalant today."
Now, we've heard that about him.
It's been a common critique of him, which is, I think, proper for him. He gets a little bit almost too comfortable, which is odd.
Yeah, I didn't think he did against Michigan. I thought he showed a lot of urgency.
7 sacks, 30-some pressures in that game?
Yeah, he was. I mean, it depends what stat you're looking at, but he dropped back 49 times and was pressured 24. So half the time he was back there. I did think he showed urgency in the pocket against Michigan. He had to show urgency or he would have got killed.
We're just saying.
Right.
We're just saying.
So I thought he was fine that way. And how many times, Jake, did you see him escape, kind of weave through traffic?
Early on he did.
And gun it downfield somehow.
Well, the opening drive when Nebraska, again, went for it, didn't score. I think twice he escaped pressure and had the long play to Lindenmeyer, who had a nice run.
Yeah, that was the first
drive. But he has to do that. That's the stuff you have to do. And
we shouldn't have to do it half the time.
We make all the comparisons we don't, but nationally, he's mini Mahomes. You know what Mahomes does? He avoids pressure really well. His O-line's good, but he makes them better by the way he escapes pressure. He just doesn't get sacked.
Right.
I'm not saying you got to go run for 100 yards. No, I don't run for 20.
But the pressure was enormous last week. You can't have that kind of pressure and expect the quarterback to do much, especially when you're not running the ball well. So you're not really alleviating any pressure there. So I don't give Dylan much of a hard time. I think Dylan's the reason you have a chance to have a good season. He's the number one reason you have a chance to have a good season. He's numero uno on that team.
Now, you teased a few minutes ago about the offensive line. Now, let's go back to this last week, and this before. It's been left tackle, Gunnar Gatula, right tackle, Teddy Prohaska. Are you teasing? You think you'll see a different tackle spot, at least at one of those, at 3 o'clock?
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not, and this is not.
It's just Elijah Pridgett in the conversation.
Yeah, and I'm not, I hope people don't understand. I'm not just talking out of the blue. I mean, it's my job to.
You've been informed.
Be informed in some ways, and yeah, I'll be shocked. I guess I'm just going to say it, and people can throw it back at me if it's not right. I'll be shocked if Pritchett's not the left tackle today. Or if I wanted to go conservative with the prediction, I just said I'd be shocked if Pritchett's not either the left or the right tackle. But I expect him to be the left tackle today. Now, who will be the right tackle? I don't know that.
Could that be Gatula?
Could be, yeah.
We have not seen Corcoran at all really this year?
Yeah, it could be Corcoran. I mean, Corcoran could be a guy that works his way in there, and they could move Gunnar over there. You know, move Gatula over from the left side, and you could do that. I think it's Pritchett time. I think you got to see what that looks like. Give him a chance and see what it looks like.
Yes. Now, defensively for Nebraska, again, Michigan State, again, we mentioned, does have a respectable pass game. Child's a good quarterback.
They do.
Now, Nebraska, as of today, still number one in the country in pass defense yards per game, only 70-some yards a game against them. And that's because, number one, they've been good, but number two, teams have ran the ball.
Yeah.
That's been their way to success against the Huskers. See, Michigan 2 weeks ago ran the ball well, didn't pass for many yards. I think we're 4 games in. We don't know if this is truly an elite secondary, if it is just the fact that they're running the ball well, but through 4, that's a third of the season that you've been really good in pass defense. Today, windy game, there'll be a lot of running, but Michigan State doesn't run the ball really well. We'll see if they can, stop Aiden Childs.
Yeah, it's too early to put the elite tag on them.
Yes.
On Nebraska's secondary. They've been very good. This is a test. I mean, they have two or three very good receivers, and Childs, if you believe some of the pundits, is a bona fide NFL prospect. He is, he will tell you he's a pass first guy. So he'll be a good pocket guy, I imagine. And you know what he does, Jake? Throws the ball downfield well. His downfield completion percentage is strong. He throws it downfield. He's not a dink and dunk guy. He's gonna test it. He's gonna test you deep. And now here's the thing: how's the wind affect that? That's the question.
I think it's gonna affect it a lot.
Yeah, I think it could, especially like Bill Bush, our cohort. says it's actually throwing with the wind that's a bigger challenge because balls sail.
The sail, yeah.
Yeah. The wind does swirl in that stadium, so it's sort of hard to predict sometimes what it's going to look like and feel like down there. It swirls. It's a swirl. It's a strange wind.
You've got two quarterbacks that have big arms. They like to throw it a lot.
Mm-hmm. We'll see how that looks. I mean, I think I like it's the same picture on both sides. You have two big, strong quarterbacks that can throw into the wind. If one of those guys was like the Washington quarterback, what's his name?
Damon Williams.
Little guy, little hands. That doesn't
don't like him apparently.
Not in the wind.
Seems disparaging.
No, I like Damon Williams. I like him a lot.
You said little guy, little hands.
But those
pretty disparaging. Those
little quarterbacks in the Big Ten, I'm not comfortable with them because of days like this. Especially days like this when it gets cold.
But it's not cold.
No.
It's 90 degrees.
No, but
little hands are not a problem.
I want a big, strong arm.
I know you do.
Yeah.
You want Justin Herbert back there.
Justin Herbert's perfect.
You do. Now, one element before we get out of here that we did not mention that's important in a windy day. And again, all these one-score games, it's conference play. Games are tight.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what matters more in conference games and in windy games? Special teams.
Yes.
You're going to have some wayward punts today.
Yes.
You're going to have some kicks that get squirrely.
Yeah.
You're going to have some kickoffs that might go out of bounds or just be short because you're into the wind.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to call it now. It's going to be a very just bizarre day in special teams in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Good call. Imagine being a punt returner today. Think about that for a second.
Imagine being a kicker in a tight game late.
Oh, whoa.
Hey, we're tied. We're down by 2. Guess what? You got to make this kick. The wind is swirling.
A 44-yarder. Yeah, that's an adventure.
It's gonna be a bizarre day. Now, again, I say this because let's go back a year ago this weekend. Nebraska was hosting Rutgers. A game they won 14-7. Another bizarre day for special teams. A kick got returned to the 2-yard line. Block kick.
Yeah.
Right? There was 2 just ridiculous plays on punts in that game. Kind of windy that day as well.
No, it was very much
today. And guess what? It's hot and windy today. Now, you have Mike Eckler, not Ed Foley, as special teams coach, which has gone well so far. But I just think you're going to see some, I'm not going to say more than one bizarre special teams play today. Either side.
I think that's a safe prediction. The days are very similar, oddly enough. And
the exact same.
And
for early October.
Greg Schiano, the Rutgers coach, said it was as strange a game as he could remember because of the weather conditions, hot, windy, like today. I wonder if you look back, if the winds were a little faster that day. It looks like when you look out the window right now, it doesn't look crazy. But the wind gust that's the situation. Hang on to your hats.
Yes. Hats will fly away.
But I'm not seeing hats flying away. It might be okay down there.
Not yet. We'll see at the game.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, do you have an official prediction you put out there for Nebraska, Michigan State? 3 o'clock, 11.5-point favorites are the Huskers right now.
I expect a game that goes down close to the wire and Nebraska winning. I think I had 38-31. 38.
Don't cover, but they win.
Right. I think this is going to be a rough one.
I think that's a little too high scoring.
Yeah, I could see that.
My thought has been Nebraska 31-24.
Okay, close.
So 7-point game. They don't cover, but listen, I don't care.
I don't care.
4-1 is 4-1. It's conference season.
No, it doesn't
win
matter.
Games.
It doesn't matter right now. I'm not going to do the whole style points thing until they get better up front. Nebraska. That's you guys got to work away. You got to work your way around those issues every week. I think Nebraska can most weeks, and I think this is one of them.
Who's more important today? Last question: Emmett Johnson or Dylan Raiola in terms of the offense?
I'm always going to say the quarterback.
That's fair.
I'm always going to say, especially the quarterback, when you lean on this quarterback so hard, they really have to lean on him, right? If you're going to move the ball, if you were just to assess Nebraska, what would you say? They're a strong passing team or strong running team?
Passing team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the quarterback. I'm going to go with the quarterback.
Okay.
You don't say that about all teams, but definitely Nebraska's in that category of teams.
There you go. That's it for us. We're going to pass it over to Nick Sainer and Jay Foreman at the Kindler Hotel. More next on the A1 Automotive pregame show is next here on the Ticket.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Nebraska fans, it's game day in downtown Lincoln. Big Ten Sports Bar is your ultimate spot to catch Nebraska football and volleyball with every game on, every screen, all day long. Today, they're bringing the party with Sidetrack Band the entire day, and Tim Zach takes over tonight. Doors open bright and early at 9 a.m. Grab breakfast, stay for the game, and keep the night going with full kitchen open until midnight. Big Ten Sports Bar, downtown Lincoln's home for Nebraska sports, bands, good food, and drinks.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit stonebrookexterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today. Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Schaefer's is celebrating its 79th anniversary with special rebates, financing, savings, and free delivery store-wide.
Update your home with innovative Samsung appliances and save up to an additional $900 with rebates. Samsung Innovation saves you energy and time with easy-to-connect appliance technology. Plus, during Schaefer's anniversary, get free delivery on your appliance purchase.
So hurry in during Schaefer's 79th anniversary event, going on now.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits.
Welcome back into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show here, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert alongside the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman as we continue breaking down Nebraska versus Michigan State. Michigan State, the Spartans versus the Huskers. Jay, good afternoon, or good close to the afternoon, I should say, to you, my friend. It's an exciting day, right? I think let's just start here. Overall preview for Huskers and Spartans, 2 weeks removed from Michigan.
Yeah.
A lot of emotions, maybe more in the fan base than there were actually in the locker room, but a lot of emotions coming off the Nebraska loss to the Wolverines. Thoughts ahead of Spartans and Huskers?
I mean, it's an opportunity, is everywhere. It's like this wind. I always talk about the winds of change is upon us when we do high school games. The winds of potential and opportunity is starting to gust even more and more by the minute here in Lincoln. And so, look, you can't carry disappointment, from 10 days ago. The landscape of college football has changed immensely. And obviously both I call it locally in the Big Ten and nationally throughout the rest of the leagues. And so now Nebraska's in a great opportunity a great position to right the wrongs. They're going to be facing a game opponent. It's not normal that both teams are coming off a bye week. So this is really reminds me of the Cincinnati game.
Mm-hmm.
You have to prepare for that. You're going to get the best version of Michigan State because they've had more time than normal to prepare for you. Michigan State should prepare that they're going to get the best version of Nebraska. And so that, look, when you're in the Big Ten or, any college football at any level, you want their best shot. You got to welcome it. You got them at home. You got them at a great time, like during the day. The fans are going to be excited. I mean, this is a lot more activity than we usually get 3 hours before the game, or a little bit or under 3 hours. And so, Nebraska has the advantage, I think, as far as personnel. I think Nebraska's probably been a little bit more consistent. And I don't think just because Michigan State is from the state of Michigan that it's the same team as Michigan. And I think Nebraska, learned some things from that loss that can lead to some victories in the future.
This segment brought to you by our friends at Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits. Are you looking for the perfect sip in Lincoln? Make sure you head to Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street, where walk-in humidor meets a temperature-controlled wine cellar and shelves bursting with over 3,000 wines, 2,000 spirits, and 1,500 beers and seltzers. They are open daily, so make sure you stop in and elevate your next pour. Okay, so let's start here with Jonathan Smith, because I know you and I are both fans of Jonathan Smith, and we were talking to Michigan State folks earlier in the week. I remember listening to Jonathan Smith press conferences throughout the last couple of weeks as well. And if you know a little bit about him, got his first head coaching gig with Oregon State a couple of years ago, built that program out from really the depths in the what Pac-12 used to be. And then the Pac-12 disbanded. Obviously, we know the whole situation there. Jonathan Smith, gets out of Corvallis and goes to Michigan State, a program that was going to need building up again after all the off-field stuff the Spartans have gone through. What is it about Jonathan Smith that you like for a fit for Michigan State?
He's football 100% of the time, all the time, every day of the week, and that's how you build a program. I think he likes to build it, or has built it, at Oregon State, on across both the lines. I think he's developed some talent. I think he has an eye for talent. I think he had good continuity in his coaching staff. He handed it off to Trent Bray, who used to be here as a linebacker coach under Mike Riley, so he understands what it means to be at that point, Oregon State. And then now I think, his mentality and the way he goes about his business is almost on the surface tailor-made for a school like Michigan State that needs consistency, somebody that's not going to jump ship as soon as they win 8, 9, 10 games, that's going to build the program from within, then obviously see some of the things on the field that have been pretty good so far.
When we look at Michigan State, we know Aiden Childs is their quarterback. I mean, similar to what Dylan Raiola means for Nebraska, Aiden Childs is kind of that guy for Michigan State. Somebody that Jonathan Smith, as we talk about him, he's been tied to the hip with Jonathan Smith, right? He initially was in Corvallis with Oregon State, follows Coach Smith to East Lansing there. Yeah. Aiden Childs is a really talented quarterback, does not turn the football over much, similar to Dylan, has just one interception on the season, runs a little bit better than number 15, though.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. I mean, if you go back and do your homework, I mean, he was a really good athlete in high school, 3-sport athlete, and obviously football has taken him to the Power 4 level. But one thing I want to say is Jonathan Smith, the ability to recruit a 5-star quarterback to Corvallis is that's not an easy task. And so you have to believe in the guy and believe in the coach and his vision and the development. And that's what he's done. I think Aiden Childs actually played pretty good and pretty similar to Dylan last year. So, it's a treat for the football fan to see two up-and-coming, really, really talented quarterbacks that have continued to get better. And so Michigan State has added some things out there in the wide receiver room, and they got a pretty good, talented, position group is outside of them. And now what they do on the lines, I think Nebraska can dictate the pace. And so the quarterback battle, I think, will play itself out, but I think Nebraska has the advantage everywhere else.
It's interesting because we'll talk about Nebraska and things that Nebraska can control, because similar to a lot of the Husker football matchups, Nebraska has a pretty good chance to win if they control the things that they can control, right, and are in charge of that. One thing that both teams can't control today is the weather, right? We know it's going to be windy today. How much do we expect that to really dictate things for what Nebraska specifically wants to do offensively?
I don't think it'll affect Nebraska much. Number one, you have a veteran coach and Dana Holgerson as an offensive coordinator that knows how to maybe curtail his playbook and if you have the win or don't have the win, or going against the win or with the win. And then obviously I think Dylan, being here in the spring, you've probably practiced in more of these conditions. Now, obviously you're not going to get 80, 90 degrees in the spring, but you know what it's like to, practice with some wind. And that's one of the things that Coach Rule, I think, mentioned in his weekly press conference, or one of them, that Nebraska is well prepared for. But you got to adjust to it. I think it could affect the kicking game more than anything.
Yeah.
But I think that falls for Nebraska in their advantage as well, with the different variety of kicks that Archie can do. Or
Kyle Kinnanen and Archie Wilson. Yeah,
Archie
absolutely.
Wilson, yeah.
I think it's interesting because that's an area that we haven't necessarily talked a ton about from a big picture conversation this entire week has been Nebraska and special teams today, potentially the ability, or on the other side of the coin, inability for one of these teams to be able to switch the field and flip the field because of the wind and because of the circumstances out of both of these teams' control. This is a big day, I think, for I mean Mike Eckler, because he's a special teams coordinator, but also a big opportunity for Nebraska. I think my hot take this weekend is that I think Nebraska makes a play in the special teams department. I think that it's, whether that's a Ja'Cory Barney return, they've been so close week after week, it feels like. And Nebraska, for the most part, has done a really good job of doing what's expected in special teams. The missed field goal, sure, 2 weeks ago, and then obviously Ja'Cory Barney, getting tackled inside the 5.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it feels like this could be a big day for Archie Wilson to be able to flip the field if he has the wind at his back.
Yeah, this is a game Archie Wilson has got to make his money, and I think that the way that he's able to punt, and what I mean is different varieties. He can make it go end over end. I call it a flying saucer, where it kind of spins sideways, or he can have that the dead ball where it doesn't rotate at all. That, I think, will cause Michigan State returner, or punt returner in this case, to muff a punt. And now Nebraska's had, done a pretty good job of covering kicks. So I think you can look for a special teams turnover that will be in Nebraska's favor, which could blow the game open if it starts out being pretty tight.
It's interesting. Let's talk Nebraska offense versus Michigan State defense. A fascinating statistic, and maybe some of these are skewed because we're only 4 games into the season, and Michigan State's coming off of facing a really good offense in USC 2 weeks ago. Nebraska has been able to put up some some more generous numbers offensively because of the opponents that they've played, Houston,
Yeah.
Christian, and Akron more specifically. However, the stats are the stats, and the numbers don't lie. Michigan State defensively allowing over 7.8 yards per play
Yeah.
when on the road, while Nebraska at home is averaging over 7.9 yards per play on offense at
Yeah.
home. There's an avenue here to where explosive plays for Nebraska,
Yeah.
there could be some opportunities
Yeah,
there.
there's definitely opportunities there, and obviously that's what led Michigan State to lose to USC, but it just wasn't the USC game.
Yeah,
it's what they've done, and that's a hard travel for Michigan State when the game kicked off. I mean, it was almost midnight, it was obviously significantly later than any play at home, so you could maybe shave off a couple yards there because USC jumped on them pretty quick in the middle of the first quarter, going into the second quarter. And Nebraska, in their kryptonite has been pass defense, right? And Nebraska has been pretty efficient in the pass game. Dylan is completing over 70% of his passes, so it really bodes well for a controlled passing game. And then you can take some shots. I think the biggest thing that USC was able to do was to run after the catch, right? So now you got to look at what scheme or what type of concepts that USC was able to perfect, add it to you. Don't try to copycat it, make it your own. And then more importantly, don't show up to the stadium, essentially expecting a guaranteed big passing day. Just go out there and do it. If they're playing giving you a light box and trying to stop you from passing, because that might be what they did in the bye week. Said, okay, we're going to stop giving up big explosive plays in the passing game. Then you take what they give you offensively, and that'd be a heavy dose of run game.
The elephant in the room is obviously the offensive line. And it's been the elephant in the room, I think, all season long, and it was exploited. I think that's a really good word for it against the Michigan Wolverines. So much was made about the tackles. Nebraska, though, they're not going up against an elite defensive front this week. Actually, statistically, it's pretty fascinating. Michigan State's defensive front, or defense as a whole, has sacked the opposing quarterback the same exact number of times as Nebraska's defense this season. And so very, very similar in terms of ability to rush the quarterback and apply pressure for both of these sides. It's still a massive day for what you started out by saying in this conversation at the beginning of the segment, for the two sides in the trenches for Nebraska.
And they got to win it, and there's no doubt about it. I mean, you got to have some bounce back. You got kicked in the teeth against Michigan, and Michigan – I still don't think Michigan's very good. I don't think they're dominant. I'll say that, right? I think they're a good team. They're not great. I think they just did some things that Nebraska didn't do well a little bit better, and that's the learning lesson that you had to learn in front of a national TV game. And what they can do is they went back to work, and they obviously have very teachable moments. They also have they from the Michigan game, they moved the ball at times and was able to run the ball, especially in the first half. So it's not all like pure domination. Is that you just didn't do it longer and better than Michigan, and Michigan did the opposite. So now you're facing a team that's essentially on par or maybe below the same defense that you practice against. That's why I think it was really good for Coach Rule, where you just went good on good and rolled the ball out there and say, we're going to teach off good on good, and that's what we need more. And so as long as it bowls over into the game, it was all worth it. And you know what? That Michigan game, if used right, now that's by the players, using it right, and obviously the coaches as well, could be a springboard to where you're able to, play better, later in the season.
Beyond the offensive line, who's somebody offensively, Jay, that you feel like needs to have a big game? Let's start. Let's do in the pass catching group. Yeah, let's start.
Both of them. I mean, they got to. That's what I want. I mean, I want. Listen, I don't want you. I mean, I do. Obviously, I want you to continue to be very efficient. I want to see you make. I want to see Hunter and Dane Key make a couple catches, make somebody miss 5 or 10 yards after the catch. Kind of flip the field, or flip the. Obviously, get another first down after it. Really open up some things, because I think, in the middle of the field, Michigan State's defense is pretty good. Listen, Jordan Hall, their linebacker, is for real. Okay. Yep. If you come in there, kind of like I say, come in there with your weapon on safety, you're going to get pistol whipped. Number one, he can play the run. Number two, he can rush the passer. And their inside backers have 3 of their sacks. So that lets you know how active they are. He can blitz and he can cover. So when you can soften up the middle is by really going in those outside thirds and be able to make some hay.
Let's switch sides of the ball. Got about 5 or 10 minutes left in this conversation. This segment, Nick Sander, Jay Foreman. We're live from the Kindler Hotel. This segment brought to you by our friends at Wall to Wall Wine and Spirit. Visit them on North 27th Street today. All right, Jay, let's go to your side of the ball, defensive side. so much is being talked about on how Nebraska's secondary is one of the best in the country.
Right.
They might get tested today more than they have been the entire year.
Yeah.
And that's including Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati was still figuring out some things about themselves in that first
and they
game.
Figured it out.
And they have, because they're up 31-7 at half on Iowa State.
Exactly.
That Iowa State team, though, by the way, side note, missing their top two defensive
corners.
backs.
Yeah, the top 2 corners.
Top 2 corners today. And so not to take anything away from what the Cincinnati Bearcats are doing,
Yeah.
but there is important context to be had there. But back to Nebraska, so much is being made about the secondary.
Yeah.
They're going to get tested today, but yet here we are again, and this is what I'm saying. Somebody on that front needs to apply some pressure, other than Williams Winery, who's been the most impressive to this point.
You need to have Williams Winery to have continue to have a big game. I think Cam Linhart, is going to need to be active, and then you need somewhere like combination of Judy Davis or Van Poppel to provide, not only pressure, but maybe get a sack. Because listen, one thing Aiden Childs will do is when he pulls it, he's looking to throw it. I always say, like, when Russell Wilson was the best version of Russell Wilson was when he'd break out of the pocket and be able to throw downfield with accuracy. If you go back and watch him against USC, that first touchdown, 60, 70 yards, that was on a rope, and it was on time and on target, and it would strike up the band before USC could even adjust and try to run him down. And so he's dangerous, and the way that you really curtail him is, number one, is be very disciplined in your rush lanes, and number two is when you get your hands on him or get a chance to get a sack, you got to get him down. Because even though he's about 6'3", we saw him, and he's a legit 6'3", because I can measure him up against myself. He's a legit 6'3", and he's probably, anywhere from 205, 215.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of tall and wiry, but he's strong because he's a really good athlete. And so, you got to hit this dude, and it's going to be because of the pressure. I think Williams Winery gives you that ability to close on another really good athlete. I think when you have the likes of Javen Wright or like a Shavers, guys that are explosive that can close, I think they pay dividends. And also, one guy I think that really could pay off in this game, and I don't know if he's going to play or not, but I think as the seasons went on, he's played more. So now we're in game 5. So I think the red shirt's off. It's Dawson Merritt.
Yeah.
Listen, now granted, being in there in the Big Ten and probably playing against Michigan every week, 60, 70 plays probably isn't in his wheelhouse. But coming in and playing and being in those dime packages, blitz packages, and then can play backside and play big. Look, whether you like it, love it, or hate it, the dude can play and is showing the ability to play. Maybe not start, but play a bigger role. His athletic ability can really make up for some of the things up front that hadn't been maybe Trump tight.
Yeah, that is part of the conversation and just, I guess, observations that we'll make today to where, those conversations, we know that they've been made after week 4 and after the 4th game of the season of, all right, do we see you being in an expanded role that's going to burn a red shirt, or do we see you guys kind of sitting out?
Yeah.
And I think Dawson Merritt's another one. I think Rex Guthrie's in that conversation as well. Just because I think that they like what he can give them
and
in the defensive back. And that's where this is a complete, I sometimes wonder what the situation is with the Malcolm Hartzog right now, because it feels like he's been getting slowly better and slowly progressing, and then hits a little speed bump. And you know it way better than I do. But it makes me, I don't want to put a conspiracy theory out into the air, but it makes me wonder if we will see Malcolm Hartzog, because it feels a lot like the Tommy Hill situation as Nebraska had last year.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that. I think they're two different people.
I think 100%. And I do think I do think Malcolm will play.
Yeah, I think Malcolm's doing everything he can to get back, and I don't know what his injury was or is, and the state of it. I'm sure it's pretty tricky, and that's the thing when you have, I don't even remember when he got hurt, so I really can't talk on it. But sometimes these injuries are really tricky. And then sometimes one thing I think the coaching staff has always done is always try to bring guys back when they're completely healthy versus putting them at risk. So, you like to think he made some progress after the bye week. And so we'll see, how, he continues to progress. But I think, with Guthrie and also with Jones, the ability, because Jones has been able to come in and play the slot, or you've been able to put Sierra right in the slot and then Jones go outside where you can mix and match. And then obviously Deshaun Singleton has been very, very consistent. That's how you're able to have, along with Marshall, have a really good pass defense. But they are going to be tested today. They're going to have to really, if Michigan State is able to get some positive results out of the run game, our corners have got to be able to lock up man to man and make some plays. And you can't really, and one thing I like about Coach Butler, he's not going to be passive. He's going to continue to be aggressive. and calculated, and also he's going to challenge guys to step up and make some plays. And today's a perfect example of a day that they got to step up and make some plays.
It's interesting. One guy I've very seldom heard be talked about today or this week as we've been previewing Michigan State is they have a tight end in Jack Velling, who is an experienced guy, had 36 catches last year for Michigan State. It's a big day for the linebackers. I mean, we're finding out it's a big day for everybody, right? And
particularly
that's
the second level.
Yeah, but it's a big day for linebackers.
When you have to deal with a running quarterback, generally, just from my experience, obviously I'm not on the staff or anything like that. That falls on your linebackers and your nickels. And it's a hard job because you got to really cover down well, and then you got to be strategic when you come out of coverage, and then you got to make tackles on really good athletes. Now, when you have a really good tight end, that makes it harder. But really, that's where I call it, that's where the figure it out percentage has to go way up. That means the communication between linebacker A and B, and somebody might have to take on a different role for the other linebacker to, like, for instance, like if it was me and Farley, I would probably most likely say, hey, I'm gonna lock down this tight end. I'm gonna hand off the spy duties to you, no matter what Coach McBride says, we're going to get this job done. Yeah. Because Farley matches up really well against the Aiden Childs and Underwood last week, so forth and so on. And then if things start to change and flip, and maybe we needed to purposely do it, we change. But that's where you want the leadership. That's where you want the experience of guys to get out there and make it happen, because there's no coach that walking the face of the earth is going to be upset when you get the job done. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to want you to do it the way they wanted to do it. But then also the biggest thing is easier to kind of sit down and say, okay, what were you thinking? And when you were showing the leadership to figure it out, they'll definitely be okay with it.
All right, Jay, as we usually do, let's give our breakout players. Who do we think is going to have a big game? Who do we think Nebraska needs to have a big game today?
Offense?
And then a prediction. Yeah, let's start offense first.
Hey, I'm always for light skin for the win, dang key.
Okay. I'm going to go with a different wide receiver. I'm going to say it's Ja'Cory Barney Day. I think it's big for Ja'Cory
to put back-to-back games.
Yeah. I think we're still not discrediting what Ja'Cory's done in his career. He's been electric.
He ain't been here long enough.
He hasn't been here long enough, sure. But we want to see this consistency continue to build.
You want to see consistency to match up with the small sample size.
Yeah. And stuff that we're like on the precipice of.
Yeah.
Because whether it's a special teams play, whether it's a big play in the receiving game, he's been tripped up time and time again. It feels like now let's see him break one. Let's see him score one. So like it's that type of feel and the consistency piece for me. All right, let's flip over to defense. Who are we going with?
I'm gonna do Williams Noweri.
Okay.
I'm gonna do him because I think he has walking off the. I think this is a game if he can get in there, if he can get kind of the blood flowing, he can run down Childs.
Mm-hmm.
He can play with power. He can play with speed. This is a game that we're 4 games into the season.
Yeah.
You've shown the little flashes. Now you're playing and probably, and you're not maybe co-starter role. I didn't even look at the depth chart, but he's going to be playing a lot, right? This is a game we need for you to show a big jump after a bye week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've been playing strategically more, and you've been making more plays. So I think this is a big game for him.
I'll go backside of the defense. I think Deshaun Singleton for another consistency piece because Deshaun has had a really nice start. We talked to him at Big Ten Media Days out in Vegas back in July. And he's a guy that could have had NFL opportunities, professional opportunities last year. This is a game that you can put on film, right?
Yeah.
Like they're going to get tested, like we talked about, as much as they have been to this point. Deshaun's done a really nice job manning and leading that secondary so far this season. I want to see it again today against a formidable opponent in Michigan State. All right, prediction. I'm going to go 31-21 Nebraska.
Yeah.
I don't think they cover the spread if you're into that stuff.
No, I'm not into it.
You're not, I know, but what are you going to do with Nebraska and Michigan State today?
I think it's going to be 38-10.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
38-10. Nebraska's favored by 10.5 points or even like 12 points. Vegas ain't stupid.
You know what that is?
I just seen it in the paper.
Okay.
So that means it's going to be a blowout.
38-10.
Yeah. Because you know what? We're going to pull the starters, and here comes TJ Lateef, and he
okay.
got something that everybody wished they had, and that's the suit. We're going to start Deg-led University next week, starting on old school. TJ Lateef is going to put him way over there to make
That's
it a
the bold prediction.
Yeah.
So your bold prediction is that we see TJ Lateef today.
Yeah.
Because Nebraska's because it's in a blowout.
And
I'm saying that we see a big special teams play.
Okay, I like that. We're going to see TJ Lateef after a blowout. and we're going to see the dead leg.
All right, you heard it there
Dead
first.
Leg University.
This segment
What you
brought
looking
to you
at, man?
by Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits. Make sure you stop in today. If you are in the area, North 27th Street, stop in and elevate your next pour. It's Terrell Farley and Todd Euler coming up next on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. We're live from the Kindler Hotel. Huskers and Spartans a short time away here in Lincoln. It's back to game day. The bye week is over. We're on to Husker football. Jay just got up and left before the segment's even over. We're out of here. Terrell and Todd coming up next on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC, doing life together.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herb Street's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by the Kindler Hotel.
All right. You guys are ready?
They're ready.
We're ready. All right. Welcome back to 93.7. This is the Kindler Hotel. Book your stay at the Kindler Hotel and one of their 45 well-appointed guest rooms that provides luxury in the heart of downtown of Lincoln. Enjoy drinks at the Botano Lounge while you're here and take in the outdoor patio. Book your stay at thekindlerhotel.com. All right, Todd Euler and Terrell Farley here with 93.7 The Ticket. It's a beautiful day for football. And when I say that, just look at the scores of the other games or the other teams that's playing. Yeah. Got some good games on today. Earlier, I was checking out. I know Cincinnati was up. They're killing them. So right now, Georgia's up 21-7 on University of Kentucky. Michigan is up 10-7 on Wisconsin. Illinois is up 30-14 over Purdue. Clemson is putting the belt to the bottom of North Carolina, 35-3. Kansas Baylor tied up 17-17, and Cincinnati 31-15 at halftime. All right, Euler, how you doing today?
Good,
man?
Good.
Great day for football. We're both going to be in the
10. Top 10 day, maybe?
Top what day?
Top 10 day of football. I mean, weather-wise.
Yeah.
The wind may be a little factor, but.
Yeah, I think the wind is going to be a factor, but, it's football. You still got to go out there and play the game. You still got to run, tackle, tackle, throw, not slide. That's baseball. We're not even in that season. But at the same time, all right, the Huskers play Michigan State. What you looking for today, man?
I'm looking for, did we clean up the mistakes? Can we stop the run? Can we run the ball? Those are the two big things right now. Are we able to shore those things up? And if we are, we're gonna have a good rest of the season. If we can't shore those things up, we're in for a long rest of the season. So that's what I'm looking for.
I think it's a long list of things when you look at what Nebraska has to fix, especially on the offense side of the ball. You have a running game that's disappeared in the last week against a superior opponent in Michigan. Now we have to figure out how we're going to get the running game back on track. You have a great passing game with Dylan Raiola, who's putting up great numbers, but at the same time, the offensive line has to block for Dylan Raiola, and that's something we haven't been able to do last week. We was exposed, giving up 7 sacks in the game. What's some of the different packages we see? We hear about a new RB2. Maybe Roger Craig is coming back to college football or something, but Nebraska going to have to do something different against a okay Michigan State team. I wouldn't put them in the team. I put them in the probably top
half,
bottom half of the Big
top
Ten.
of the bottom half. Yeah, yeah. I think we're in for a dogfight every week in the Big Ten, and you know, I want to see us come out and it's our home field and play like it's our home field and be physical from the get-go and just, you know, go at these guys, right? We want to, you know, we you know how many wins in a row we got at Memorial Stadium right now, right? Zero. So let's start a streak and let's get out and out physical these guys. I mean, we're going to play physical teams, but we got to play more physical, right? Who wants it more, right? That's going to be really the question of today. Both 3-1. You know, they played a USC team that's pretty darn good. We played a Michigan team that's pretty darn good. We played Cincinnati, and I told everybody when we played Cincinnati, this is a pretty good team, and they're taking it to a ranked opponent right now in Iowa State. But you know, Michigan State hasn't played. They played Boston College, won that in overtime. They really haven't played anybody besides USC. Same as us. We really haven't. We've got 2 pretty good games. I think Cincinnati once again is better than everybody gave them credit for. That'll be determined in the rest of the season, and obviously it's only halftime, and Iowa State always seems to pull out something at the end. I mean, they're down 16 point, or I don't know, 16 points. That's 2 touchdowns and 2-point conversions. Like that guy, they always stay in the games for somehow. So, but I want us to see this is our house, and let's get an identity that we're going to win every home game, right? And people need to start fearing coming into Memorial Stadium. I don't think they have for a while, but that's what I would like to see. Just be the more physical team on both sides of the ball today.
All right, Nebraska is supposed to start Elijah Pritchard at left tackle. That's my sources are telling me. Don't know if it's true, but he needs to come in and have a clean game. Take this position by his horns. Try to be that $1 million NIL guy that you are from the transfer.
He's got the body for it, right?
Yeah, he needs to come in and play. Taylor Hoskins need a good game. I think overall the offensive line need to start off strong in the game, open up some big holes for Emmett, get solid blocks for Dylan, at least give him 3 seconds to throw the ball away. It's a lot of stuff that has to be done on the offensive line. But let's start it this game right here against Michigan State.
Yeah, let's start. Let's go out. Let's be physical. Let's do our assignment. I think we had some, you know, obviously 3 big plays against Michigan that some guys were not doing their assignments correctly, right? So clean that up. Did the off week and did the extra week of prep, you know, were these guys really doing the work in order to prepare for this game? Obviously, Michigan State had a week off as well. Both, I mean, this is a huge game, in my opinion. This is going to tell us a lot about Nebraska football and what we can expect the rest of the year. And I think Michigan State feels the same way, right? So we get it at home, though, and I think that, you know, being at Memorial Stadium needs to be an advantage for us. So, but yeah, I'm excited.
All right, Aiden Childs, quarterback from Michigan State here. Great kid, 868-yard passing, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's 6'3", 225 pounds, can run, second leading rusher on the team. He poses a threat for Nebraska. How would you go about on the defense trying to slow another mobile quarterback down this week as you just left one with Bryce Underwood from the University of Michigan?
Yeah, and I think, you know, obviously Bryce is one of the better mobile quarterbacks in the Big Ten. So I don't think this kid will be quite that, but at the same point, Underwood really didn't hurt us except for one play with his mobility, in my opinion. So I think just do your assignment, right? Keep them corralled. Get a stop on third down when you need it, those kinds of things. But we've obviously you're going to play a lot of teams with quarterbacks that can run, and we either figure it out or, it's got to get figured out.
All right, Nebraska has to stop him on the run. After giving up almost 300 yards last week, you still face a Michigan State team that can run and pass the ball. You have a mobile quarterback, a good running back back there, 3 solid good receivers, and a tight end to go. What are some of the things a black shirt has to do to win this game this week?
Be more physical, right? Be more physical. That we have to get pressure on the quarterback. We have to keep him corralled. We have to stop the run. And it's a bend, don't break, right? Type of defense, in my opinion. It's not an attacking defense. It's a bend, don't break. So getting off the field, on third down is critical. So assignment football. This defense is really assignment football. And it's not giving up the big play. And that's what killed us 2 weeks ago, right? Was giving up the big plays. So don't give up any big plays. We'll be fine. And be physical up front. I'm looking for a defensive lineman to just come into their own, right? Like we haven't seen that yet. I think the talent's there. It's potentially, we just haven't seen it. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see one of those defensive linemen step up today and just, maybe not be a Christian Peter, but start looking forward to potentially getting to that level, right?
Yeah. I think the defensive line and the linebackers have a lot to prove this week in trying to shut down the run. And let's go opposite of what the rankings say. You're 20-something, you're 80-something in rushing, and you're number 5 in the nation. Let's turn that around today where you can lead the charge in rushing. And you need all hats to the ball. I don't think guys are giving 110% out there. I don't think the guys are really focus on trying to just stop the play and get to the next one. A lot of missed tackles last week. Let's see, can we go and get it right? Let's see, can we create turnovers and put Dylan Raiola in this offense in the best position they can be in.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. We need the linebacker crew. They were a little exposed. I know we talked a lot about D-line being exposed with the run, but at the end of the day, those linebackers got to fill gaps and make the tackle, and they did break. Michigan broke a lot of tackles. This is a good running back that we're going to face today. We're going to face good running backs every week from here on out. I mean, the Big Ten's stacked with them, and but it's who wants it more. Again, as I always say, who wants this game more? Because I don't care what the odds are, that kind of thing. But it's Big Ten football. You're seeing at Michigan and Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin is not a great team right now, and it's 10-7, right? It was 7-7 for a long time. So you're going to get a battle every single week in the Big Ten, and who wants it more, who plays better assignment football, who's flying to the ball, giving 110%. Because really, I agree with you. Like there's no way you're giving 100% and you give up 3 long plays. That's just not acceptable. And so we've got to shut that down this week on defense.
All right, give me your score prediction for the Huskers, and who's your MVP of the game?
All right, well, I'm going out on a limb. I'm going big here. Go big or go home. I have 42-17. I know. Yeah, I think we scored 42 points. USC rolled some points up on them. Boston College scored quite a few points on them. So I feel like we can get 42. I feel like our defense will step up and make a statement after getting kind of punched in the mouth 2 weeks ago and really come out fired up. And I know Memorial Stadium is going to be loud and proud. And so it's going to be really, hard for them to communicate. So, yeah, I'm going big. I wanted to start the streak of not losing at home. It's time that we start a streak of being feared in Memorial Stadium. I think we have the kids to do it. I think we have the coaching staff to do it. And let's start it today with a big win, 42-17. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm feeling it. I know you're probably not.
Special teams. What do you expect out of special teams? I think we're getting to the close of running one back. When you see the young guys especially Ja'Cory Bonnie and the guys on the kickoff return. The guys are trying to really escape one. Missed some field goals last week. Have to get the points early this week instead of trying to wait till the second half. But field goal.
Yeah.
We have to get that correct. I like both of the legs on the kid. I think he's an excellent kicker. If we have a chance to get points early, we take them and we get them. Just excited about this game. I think Nebraska rose for this game. I'll say 38-17.
All right. Pretty
Nebraska.
Close. I think special teams, obviously, we've seen, in the first 4 games, how different Eckler has got these special teams for us. And it's now something that we don't dread anymore, right? And you're right. It's time for one of these to pop off and go the distance. And today could be the day, especially if we can get up a couple scores and, Michigan State's been punched in the mouth a little bit. We may see a punt return. Ja'Cory is just electric back there. And, and then once again, the wind's going to determine a lot on field goals and punts, right? So depending on which way you're going and how the wind's blowing, I know it swirls in there a lot from what I remember being in there playing. So I think we definitely will have the advantage in special teams, and that's something we could probably look towards the rest of the season of having great special teams, something we haven't been able to say for years.
Yeah, you're right about that. All right, Georgia's 28, Kentucky 7, Michigan 10, Wisconsin 7, Purdue 21, Illinois 30, Clemson 35, North Carolina 3, Kansas 24-17, Baylor, Cincinnati 31-15. Catching you up on your college football today. We'll be at Nebraska Stadium at Memorial Stadium in a little while to see the kickoff versus Michigan State. I'm Terrell Farley, and he's
Todd Euler,
and we are here with 93.7 The Ticket at the Kindler Hotel. Thank you.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Schaefer's is celebrating its 79th anniversary with special rebates, financing, savings, and free delivery store-wide.
Update your home with innovative Samsung appliances and save up to an additional $900 with rebates. Samsung Innovation saves you energy and time with easy-to-connect appliance technology. Plus, during Schaefer's anniversary, get free delivery on your appliance purchase.
So hurry in during Schaefer's 79th anniversary event, going on now.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln.
All right, welcome back into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Here's the the ones and twos. I got DP to my left. If you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. This segment is sponsored by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership, stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycles, Sea-Doo, and Triton Trailers. Stop by their 27th and I-80 location. Today, we're just a little bit under 2 hours, about an hour and a half, roughly. DP, how we feeling on game day? Homecoming as well.
It is the best part of today is the waking up. Down goes the sign.
Just all that.
Down goes the sign. We should put it inside so that folks can know. Like, we can just put it where we normally have it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we don't just. It's safer that way. They can read it just fine.
Yeah, they can read it just fine. You can go through. It is gorgeous. Lincoln, Nebraska, be proud of yourselves. You dressed out. You showed out. Gorgeous, gorgeous weather. Gorgeous people. You look good in your sea of red. The sea of red. You start to count the number of nice Saturdays you're gonna have. So you can't assume, right? And then the next 2 Saturdays, there's nothing happening here. Next Saturday will be in College Park. See you there. I will be there. Yes, I will be in College Park, Maryland next. I will be neutral in color.
Okay. What's the name?
Just like today.
Black?
Just like black. Just
All
like today.
All right.
Just like today. Black. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be on. I'll be on both sidelines at some point.
Fair enough. You got connections.
But during the game, I will not be on either sideline. I will be up in the booth where you have to be neutral. It's supposed to be. And then, yeah, I've got tons of friends and family that are going to be there. The following Friday night, we'll be in Minneapolis. Yes, I'll be in Minneapolis to cover that for us. Make some phone calls, call in, check in, let everybody know what's happening in the city of the Twins to do that. So we do have to. Harrison Orange, if you would please, pay the bills. Pay the bills. You have the sponsor read right there. If you can do it for this segment, great.
Yeah, we'll read that one off. Again, this one, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. Game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. They got Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, Triton Trailers, 27th in I location today.
Thank you, kind sir. Yeah, I'm a member. In case you haven't noticed this about me, I am a under promise, over deliver person when it comes to our sponsors.
Yeah, you are.
So give them more than they asked for and they paid for.
Oh, hey, man, I love it. They let us do the pregame show.
Over deliver. They allow us to hang out here and talk ball, to connect with our fans and to be with the listeners. And it's really cool. The mill's been busy today. Shout out to Corey for handling the pregame crowd. And she's just pure joy. Like, if you haven't come down here and met Corey, you're missing out. Her and Luke hold it down for the most part. And it's just good to have good people in the building.
Yeah, she gets a star in my book. She's got the Luke code down as well, where I think you and me might be the biggest fiends for coffee.
100%.
Yeah, and then they always make sure before they shut things down, you want another cup. So
yeah, she
great people.
This is it. This is her being thoughtful and considerate, and she's really good with the customers and the fans that come down. And so there have been a lot of fans who came down to just shake hands and fist bump and to get ourselves prepared for it. But yeah, the weather. I don't have as much weather concern as a lot of folks do.
Yeah, I know some people are asking, does the wind hurt Nebraska's passing game?
Well, if you say that your game plan is to stretch Michigan State, right? So if you're going to mimic, copy success and do what teams that have had the team that had the most success against Michigan State, which was USC, if you're going to do what they did, which is press the front seven so that you can get some isolation in the back four, specifically at the corners, outer thirds, right? That if you can connect deep with the outer third, right, make it difficult. If you can throw through the weather and get it to the outside the numbers to your talented players, yes, the wind will be in play.
But also for Giles.
But the same thing applies for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same weather. So it's not like you can just go, well, geez, it's not going to affect. Same thing can apply. And then almost to the point where you almost want to force him to throw into that. Michigan State has the same option to say, listen, we're going to press Nebraska up front and see if we can get them to put the ball in the air, maybe get some air up under it and some weird things happen. It affects the kicking game for all parts. Again, for a punter, Archie has not really been active in this kind of weather here. So we don't really know. There are things you know and things you don't know. The best solution to that is not ask him to kick. There's that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that there's an advantage in the kicking game for Nebraska today. Michigan State's kickers ranked number 1 in the conference.
Yeah, and Union hasn't given us any reason to doubt him yet.
Right. So, it's that space. But if Nebraska's on its best game, the run game is vital and important. The run game and run defense will set up the way this game's going to finish. Look, this is an Emmett day. This is how you fight the weather, which is short throws and quick space, right? So those quick flares to Emmett out of the backfield, get Emmett on an option route outside of this thing, right? So those are things that you can do. You can throw through quick open windows, short open windows to the tight ends. That means Harburg and company are in this space and can do work, get the ball to them, easy throws, simple. But then the running game that you can get downhill on a regular basis. Take the burden of having to play make with his feet off of Dylan Raiola, right? Everybody wants Dylan to become, Kyler Murray. No, you want him to be back there, protect him, and allow him to make throws. He's a passer. That's his game. Aiden Childs has the ability to throw and run, so you have to defend both.
Well, he's got a great tight end too, which again, talk about that short passing game. Velling isn't going to be, we got to make sure we know where he's at.
But it means busy safeties, busy backers in that space. And the best way, here's the thing that you'll notice today. Nebraska will have success if it can reroute Michigan State's tight ends. If you can just get them off the route long enough to put pressure on Childs, right? And then maintain, right? I need to reroute you, but keep my eyes on Childs so that I can't be in man coverage, because if I turn my back to him, he's
gone.
Rules of engagement for him. This is from their social media, that his key in the passing game when he drops back, that if he sees a linebacker's name on the back of the jersey, he'll take off and go. If he sees eyes, I can throw around the eyes. But if you concede and put your back to me, then you can't defend me. And so being consistent and stable and being on your job and setting the right boundary. But here's another thing to pay attention to. In this space, we would always say that we're going to set a toll for running quarterbacks. We're going to set a toll bridge. We're going to set a toll booth. And the rule for this is simple. That if he changes lanes and gets outside of the toll, he gets to run for free. But if I keep him boundaried and keep him in the middle, and then I make him pay. And that means that if he's going to step up in passing situations and become a runner, you have to make him pay the toll. Put punishment, put licks on him. Look, man, I'm going to let you, the first time you do it, you just didn't know any better. Right? So I need to smack your hat a little bit.
That was the same. I was saying that for Michigan as well. Obviously nothing dirty, but the modern game,
not required.
Just clean legal hits. But that's football. If you want to take your quarterback and have the run game with him, you're putting him in that risk, and you got to deliver on that.
Pay attention to the number of shots to the chest that he takes. Pay attention that in the passing game, when he stands with his feet still, that's when the target shows up on his back. And how many times you hit him from behind. Punish him. Make him a little anxious back there. Make him a little antsy. But when he steps up between the two tackles, and defensive ends for Nebraska, listen, don't you let this dude outside of the toll booth. Don't let him outside the toll lane. Do not listen, if this dude gets outside the boundary, it is going to be ugly. It is going to be a problem, right? Because then you've got man coverage on the outer third, and he's got a big enough arm to throw even in bad wind to get the ball vertical, and we just don't want it to happen.
You got to trust that secondary too. I think still number one right now heading into this game. Listen, you're gonna have coverage sacks out there if you maintain contain. I mean, those guys are going to be doing it. I think we'll wait and see, but odds are they should be able to hold up on coverage long enough for you guys to get some pressure.
Well,
if you keep contained.
Well, but I don't know. Think Cincinnati. I don't know that I want pressure is in air quotes, because I would rather he throw the ball short than run or throw long.
Well, that's why contain to me is still the biggest thing.
Contain is the big thing because it's confined window inside the pocket. They're tougher throws to the outer thirds, right? If he stays and he has to do all of his work in the middle, then you get tipped ball, batted balls, you get tip drill interceptions, you get all those things. But I'm just telling you, when he drops back and he plants his foot and decides to get vertical, it better be vertical and not horizontal, because if he gets outside the edge, he breaks down the defense. If he steps up in between the tackles, you got bodies there from Nebraska and you got backers. And the backers got to come up, and I mean, you got to come up and you got to put pads on it. I don't mean crown of the hat. I mean, come and put pads on this dude. Listen, the first three runs where he pulls the ball down, if you put a body on him, it is going to slow him down and make him reconsider. But if you do not, then he becomes a legitimate threat, The receivers become better because of it. The running game becomes better because of it. And Nebraska has this high-powered offense sitting on the sideline watching Aiden Childs do his thing.
What do you suppose, we got about 5 minutes left here, what do you suppose the keys for the offense are? What are you really looking for to attack that Michigan State defense?
Well, I think this is simple. Just don't give them the ball. If it's possession for possession, I think Nebraska wins. I just think they're better. Possession for possession. If you don't give Michigan extra possessions and you're productive with those drives, you actually get points. I don't care what the points are, get points, right? Points per possession is a massive stat. It's a massive, important stat. When you get the ball, put points on the board and don't give them the ball extra times, right? Because then you put your defense at risk, you put your offensive player at risk, because then if Michigan State's getting points every time they drive the ball, then you're putting more pressure on Dylan, and then you're going to make him a bigger target. Don't want that. Just simply take care of the ball. Don't extend drives with penalties and take care of the ball, right? There's simplicity in, don't make it difficult on yourself. Staying in front of the chains allows this for you. It means you're making good decisions with the play call. You're making good decisions in execution. And then ultimately it comes down, like every football game comes down to which team actually executes the game plan.
Uh-huh.
Both will have simple game plans. Like this will be, you can look at their chalkboards inside the locker room. They're going to say the same things, but it's the team that executes. Just don't penalize yourself. Watch penalties and turnovers. But that's always the case. We know that about Nebraska football. If you don't give Michigan State 2 extra possessions because you did something stupid, or you don't give them 2 extra possessions by putting the ball on the turf or throwing a ball high and having it be a tip drill interception, but also taking advantage of when they do. If Michigan State's going to give you 2 extra drives, Nebraska's going to win the game. They're going to win the game if you just simply do the things. Look, you can get into the special teams. You can say, okay, but playmakers have to make plays. And I think in today's game, in this type of game, plays made are, instead of 3rd and 7, it's 3rd and 2. Stay in front of the chains and then don't give the ball away. Third and 7 means you take a risk. 3rd and 2 means you have some control and you've done some things positively. Listen, protect Dylan Raiola at all costs. Put people in play, but simply let's not give the ball away. Like, just don't give the ball away and don't extend drives negatively by stupid plays. And we know enough about this Nebraska team now to know position for position we're okay, but can you execute and will your playmakers show up? I like Nebraska's offensive playmakers in this one. I'm not sure I like Nebraska's bigs in this one. And then coaches, play calls, situational play calls, in-game adjustments, audibles on the field. Are you seeing the right thing? And then don't give them the ball an extra trip or 2. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with more with that one. Especially Michigan State, pretty similar to Nebraska this year as far as penalties goes. They're both ranked really well across college football in the country. So they're not shooting themselves in the foot. The turnover part, I mean, we say this every single year. Nebraska's worst streak in football history is also at the same time when our turnover margin has been the absolute worst it's ever been in program history. So very obvious math there. You don't turn the ball over, you're going to have a better chance to win some games. And, this game, I'm excited for it. I think Memorial is going to be absolutely rocking. You pointed out at the very beginning, it is a beautiful day for some college football. DP, I know you're not a score prediction guy.
Right.
But are you just pick a team to win here? Or what's your, just tell you final words before we throw it to break here.
Well, I mean, I think the simplicity in my being comfortable enough to say that I think Nebraska is the better team.
Mm-hmm.
But that hasn't always been the deal. That it doesn't necessarily play out that way. I love the fact for some reason in my head, I think they have a simple game plan. Cute will get you beat. Don't need cute. Don't need cute today. Line up, fatten your neck, get your hands active, and beat a Michigan State team that is not a terrible football team. They have the same record in conference and out. So that, there's that. Just simply be better doing the simple things. do the simple things better, consistently, more often, Nebraska wins.
Love it. Couldn't say it better myself. That is Derek Pearson. I'm Harrison Harns. Don't go anywhere. We got AD and, Austin Orman and AD coming up next, sponsored by Raising Cane's. This segment, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. Again, shout out to our sponsor. Don't go anywhere, though. We still got a few more segments left before kickoff. A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
It's game day, Husker fans. Max Tan celebrates the Huskers and the amazing athletes who bring the energy every game. Right now, experience the 2025 season tour. High-pressure tanning, red light therapy, and spray tanning for just $20.25. Max Tan keeps you looking and feeling your best all season long. Max Tan, shining bright with Husker pride. Take it to the max and go Big Red.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tagged machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Krekak of State Farm Insurance.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Raising Cane's.
Welcome back in. It is pregame 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. At 1040 O Street, I'm Austin Norman. He is Aaron Davis. Hey, football fans, this season, Raising Cane's in downtown Lincoln is the place to be before and after the game. Stop by 14th and P Streets 2 hours before every home game for giveaways, good vibes, and their signature hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that legendary cane sauce. Don't forget, when the final whistle blows, Cane's keeps the party going with live DJs from whatever collective and unmatched energy for 3 hours after the game. AD, energy is the word I would use to describe this Saturday so far.
Yes.
Little different for us. It's homecoming, except we're here all the time.
Yeah.
You know? So it's Saturday, but we have even more friends in town for homecoming.
There's quite a few of those. My daughter Naya is in a sorority. She's I said Phi Delta. My boys are Phi Delta. That's a fraternity. She is a Delta Gamma. She's a DG, and seeing they were all sorts of homecoming festivities, etc. It's always cool to see the pageantry and folks come back, the homecoming court and all those type things. So it's just hard for me to believe, Austin, that was 30 years ago for me. I've been out of school longer than you've been alive.
It's true.
You're 27?
Yeah, just turned 27.
Gosh, man. You and Nick, man.
My bad.
Yeah.
No, I'm not supposed to drink about that.
I'll tell you what, have you noticed a lot of the red and white coveralls too?
Oh, so many
Overalls?
pinstripes. Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of pinstripes.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
There's a lot of pinstripes.
You strike me as a homecoming king sort of guy.
Who was I in high school? I was like in the court or something like that, man. In college, I was just trying to make it home.
Well, Lincoln High knew it was up. So.
College,
Yeah, that's a whole different game.
That's right.
Whole different ball game.
You definitely can feel the energy downtown, man. Austin, we are just about an hour and 10 minutes away from kickoff when Sparty comes to Nebraska takes on Sparty. So I'm excited to see what happens, man.
Absolutely. Nebraska 114th homecoming today. Huskers 10-2 against Big Ten schools on homecoming. First ever homecoming game for Nebraska against Michigan State. Usually you're looking to get Northwestern or Purdue, sneak them into town. Nebraska gets a game solid Michigan State team who AD has won the last 2 games in the series, but didn't win the last time the game was played in Lincoln. It was the exact opposite of this.
Yes.
The last time Michigan State came to town, that 9-6 Nebraska win, where Barrett Pickering provides the entirety of the offense for Nebraska. He kicks 3 field goals as the Huskers win it. AD, something that stands out to me when I look at this matchup, just by the numbers, red zone offense.
Yeah.
Dana Holgerson was asked about that at his press conference on Tuesday. Michigan State has been pretty incredible in the red zone. They've scored 16 out of 17 times in the red zone this year, 4th in the Big Ten, 31st in the FBS. But here's the important part. 12 of those 16 scores have gone for touchdowns. 5 of them have been on the ground. Michigan State, good in the red zone. Nebraska, 17th in the Big Ten in the red zone, scoring less than 80% of the time and a much higher ratio of field goals to touchdowns. An area to watch for Nebraska today.
It is, you look at compared to this
time this week compared to 2 weeks ago with Underwood compared to Aiden Childs. And the thing about Aiden Childs, man, he is. I think he's a good quarterback. I really do. Like I said, I haven't watched all of their games, but enough of them this past 7-8 days, and enough clips of him. He's very composed. Like I said, nothing about Michigan State jumps at me. But it's like I told Nick last week. They remind me of the Northwestern teams that would just give you fits, and they're the type of team to where if you play with your food, they're going to make you pay for it, and you're going to have some indigestion.
Food might play with you.
Yeah, exactly. They'll take the fork from you. And so Nebraska cannot come in this game. And quite honestly, Austin, I think an 11.5 point spread is something to kind of piss you off a little bit and say, wait a minute, we come in here just the same record we got, right? As far as that goes, 3-1. So again, I think this is a team to where if Nebraska, if they don't take care of business early, and I mean from a physicality standpoint, this game will be closer than it should be. But Michigan State is not going to be a slouch, in my opinion.
No, they absolutely won't. When you talk about getting your work done early for Nebraska, come out, throw the first punch, that goes big picture, all sides of the ball. But I think especially defensively, AD, because if Nebraska is able to keep Michigan State on the Spartan side of the field, it limits the damage that Ryan Eckley can do. That's the punter. We've heard a lot about him throughout the week, but if he had enough punts to qualify, he'd be number one in the FBS with a 53-yard punting average. He also leads the Big Ten with 9 punts landed inside the 20 and 9 of them for 50 or more yards, including 6 punts inside the 10-yard line. Dude is a weapon. If you let Michigan State drive to midfield, odds are pretty good that Nebraska will be starting a drive backed up against its own end zone. So if you're the Nebraska defense, stop the run on first down, see what they do on second down, and then get off the field early on third down. I know three and out's a lot to ask for, but the closer and closer Michigan State gets to midfield, the more and more of a weapon the punter becomes, the longer the field Nebraska offense has to face.
Austin, with the win, we can see it. I can obviously 1040 Oak Street where we're at the ticket headquarters. You can see the breeze. It's the win is going to be a factor today, in particular, I would think in the kicking game. With you mentioned their punter, I think this is an opportunity also for Nebraska special teams on the flip side. A guy like Ja'Cory Barney to kind of show what he can do in the open field, because I think if Nebraska's defense holds into the bargain, there's going to be opportunities for Ja'Cory Barney to get something going. So that's going to be interesting to see how we respond as far as that goes on special teams.
Special teams should never be the headline. We've gotten tired of it being the headline for Nebraska over the course of the last 10 years, but we had to give the obligatory mention there. AD, if you're going to ask me for a bold prediction, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Nebraska gets 2 receivers over 100 yards today.
You know what, Austin? I don't think that's out of the question. And I would say this. I think you're going to see probably 2 receivers with over 100, and I think you're probably going to see 5 to 6 receivers potentially having a touch in their hands. You know, and obviously I'm not saying 100 for each of those, but I could see an Isaiah or a Ja'Cory or a Dane Key. One of those 3 I could see getting over 100. But with the distribution, I think is going to be very spread out with the defense, what they offer us as far as that goes. So I'm going to bring it back to you on that. I totally agree with you on 2 receivers reaching the century mark. What about Emmett Johnson? How important is it going to be for Nebraska, the big nasties up front, to lay their helmets on somebody, in particular those tackle position? I'm not just saying just the left tackle. Everybody's been talking about the left tackle position. No, I'm saying both tackle positions are going to be crucial today. Not just today, next week against Maryland, and everywhere else we got going on. So, yeah, I mean, I think how critical going to be to get the rushing game running and started and primed up early.
Yeah, I think early is going to be the key. And I like what Dana Holgerson said. He's not going to call run plays just to call run plays.
Right.
You know, balance to him is it working? Is it not working? I'm not going to call plays that don't work, or I don't feel like I have a chance for success just to say I called them. So, yeah, I think it is important that Nebraska is able to run the ball well enough. You look at how Nebraska is built, the way that they have wanted to play through the first 4 games, I think it's already too late for us to have any hope that Nebraska is going to be an elite rushing team. I think they are who they are. So when I look at the Nebraska run game, it's, can they run it well enough? Can they run it effectively enough when they want to? Whether that's first and long, whether it's second and long, they catch a team by surprise, or more importantly, in a lot of ways, third and short, fourth and short. Can you line up, overpower someone? Can you find something that works for you in those short yardage situations? Emmett Johnson is the spearhead of that. Running back 2, we'll see. But it all, of course, starts up front with the offensive line. Dylan Raiola getting them into the right play call, make sure the numbers advantage is there. So, yeah, it's important that Nebraska runs the ball well enough. I don't think Nebraska will consistently run the ball well in the Big Ten this year.
You know what, Austin, and I'm going to be honest with you, that is concerning to me until they prove otherwise.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just the bottom line. And to what you're saying, I mean, we've got, four games on tape to show for the most part. Nebraska is not, and obviously you throw out, I mean, I'm not saying you throw out. You look at the first drive against Michigan that we drove it down there a few other times, but other than that, that has not been something that we could just say that's our bread and butter. We know we can run the ball. They have to, and the thing about it, Austin, running the ball comes down to just simply want to. And it starts up front.
It's funny that you say that about the rush offense. John Butler said the same thing about the rush defense.
It is.
Pass defense, pass plays, or schemes. Running the ball, stopping the run is attitude.
It's attitude, man. And you know what? There's a difference thing. I like this comparison. When people say, well, they've been working hard. They've been working hard. You know, we all say that, well, I was working hard. That's great. But what about your effort? Because you know what, Austin, when I go to the gym, I can go to the gym and do my little workout, and I got it done. But did you maximize every rep?
Right.
Every single one. It's going to be crucial for Nebraska at 3:00 and going forward, not to just go and work hard. What's happening? Not just to work hard, but to maximize every snap to the point to where if you're not absolutely exhausted, that means you left some in the tank. Yeah, you got the rep in, but did you maximize that rep? Did you maximize that block? That is something we have not seen consistently from Nebraska, not just this year, Austin. We haven't seen it for the past decade as far as that goes.
Well, and you should be fired up to empty the tank off a bye week.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you should. And that's where I'm curious to see, too, AD, echo 100% of what you said. Not only was Nebraska working hard, did they do it to the best of their ability, maximum effort, but did they work well?
Right.
Did they work on things they needed to work on? Were they able to make any sort of improvements, tweaks to their fundamentals to get better, to their scheme, probably not at a 30,000-foot view? It's one thing to work hard. It's another thing to work hard in the moment with that rep.
Absolutely.
But where are you pushing that energy toward? You know, it wasn't a bye week. It's just a week without a game. I'm curious to see how Nebraska responds. They're 1-2 after byes under Matt Rule. Won the first one in 2023, beat Northwestern 17-9. Then last year was bad after a bye week. Nebraska got outscored 84-27 in those games, losses at Indiana and USC. A lot on the table for Nebraska today, and I think a pivotal month of October too, AD. Nebraska has 4 opportunities in front of it this month. I can say 4 games it should win, 4 games it could win if it plays up to its ability. But I think this is a Nebraska program that if you're looking to take the next step, don't have bowl eligibility in doubt come November. And here's the first step in the right direction against Michigan State today.
You know, I think you guys may have answered this. Maybe DP and Harrison may have answered the question on the text line earlier. That was at 117. I was looking, and Joe and Boulder, if you're still listening. Joe, I'm telling you, I am just as concerned about that as well. He says nobody's concerned about the wind. It's a question. Nobody is concerned about the wind blowing up our passing game. Joe, I'll be honest with you. I'm very concerned about that. Depending on where they opt to, as far as the coin toss, which side of the field. And, Memorial Stadium can be tricky too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Nebraska in October. First of all, it's freaking dang near 90 degrees outside, it's literally 85 degrees out right there. And then it says on my phone, there's a special weather statement. I don't even know what that even means on the thing. But as Harrison is picking up, it wasn't blown over, I guess. He was picking it up. But it talks about, windy conditions will continue for the rest of the day. Wind gusts, Austin, are up to 34 miles per hour.
Not bad. But again, it can be a disadvantage or an advantage depending on how you use it, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to be at Nebraska's back. It's going to be in Nebraska's face. Same thing for Michigan State. It's knowing what to do with it, how to handle it, that you'll probably have to figure it out a little bit on the fly. But do you trust Dylan Raiola, Dana Holgorsen, and upperclassmen receivers to figure it out? I do.
Austin, you're a student of the game, and you dig in deep behind the numbers. And not even that, but even just technique. Let's say the ball is at our back. Eventually, it's going to be either the first or second half. One of the times it's going to be at our back. When it's at our back, how important is it going to be for Dylan to be able to realize the 10-yard out doesn't have to be a rocket? Because if you got that type of wind behind you, you're going to blow the guy's helmet off. Just as far as touch, how crucial is that going to be? Not just for him, but for Aiden Childs as well for Michigan State.
Well, hopefully it's even more crucial for Aiden Childs and he forgets it.
Yeah.
That'd be ideal. But that's the thing about Dylan Raiola. Good arm. Yeah. I don't know if it's a top 1% arm. So just if the wind's at your back, remember your fundamentals. It'll carry a little bit, but don't let it get in your head. Just throw. You got to adjust for it a little bit, but just throw the football. The more you think about it, the more you're going to double clutch, the more you're going to forget your mechanics.
And really, it's only going to be a factor, really, if you push it downfield, because Dylan's arm is strong enough in that intermediate zone. He can push it through the wind. I have confidence in that with velocity and with touch. It's when Nebraska wants to take a shot. Maybe instead of getting to midfield and taking the shot, if the wind's at Nebraska's back, maybe they feel like they get to their own 40. They can push it downfield if Isaiah Hunter's got a step. Let's go ahead and pause 10 quick seconds for station ID. We'll wrap it up because I know I got to get out of here. Got the way of the drive reunion. 10 seconds. We'll be right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
We'll wrap things up here. I know I got to get to Raph in. He's waiting very patiently behind the scenes. Raffy, we see you and we hear you. AD, I'm not going to give a full prediction. I do think Nebraska gets it done. I think they're a little bit deeper. I do trust Nebraska just a little bit more. I do think this is a 4-quarter game, though. I think this feels a lot to me like Wisconsin last year, where Nebraska can take advantage of an undermanned and just all right defense. Michigan State's going to push Nebraska. I think they have enough weapons to put some points on the scoreboard. But I keep going back to last year's Wisconsin game that got Nebraska bowl eligible. That's kind of how I see this one playing out for the Huskers.
I'm going to wait on my prediction.
Okay, deal. I'll give you 20 more minutes to think about it.
I already said it yesterday. I think I said 34-20 yesterday. I think that was what I said yesterday, 34-20 Nebraska.
Well, you can rethink it.
Yeah.
You got 20 minutes to rethink it. AD, it's always a blast, my man.
Likewise, Oz.
Big thanks to Raising Cane's for their sponsorship of this segment. Check them out at the corner of 14th and P. We'll go to break. It's AD and Raph on the other side.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, Call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
When the clock strikes zero after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Currency.
All right, folks, we are back. We got myself here and Harrison in the studio headquarters, the mothership, 1040 O Street. The wind is breezy out there. Husker fans are making their way to Memorial Stadium, where the location where they're going to watch. We got Raph down in Sweet Home, Alabama. Before I bring Raph on, folks, are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options at Currency. Hiring full-time positions, financial sales, compliance, and other fields. Apply today at gocurrency.com. Again, that's gocurrency.com. Raph, how's things going down in Huntsville, my man?
Going pretty good. AD, I was wondering, did you bring your comb today?
No, but Raph, I did take my hat off, man, because the dang thing is wet from just walking from 2 blocks away down here. It was, dude, it's a little warm out there. I'm glad I don't have anything to comb on top because it's hot out there, bro.
You worried me for a second when you said that you had to take your hat off because it was too wet from the walking. I thought maybe you and Daniel parked over at 26th and N Street.
To those who don't know what he's talking about, with my brother Daniel, anytime we'll watch, watch it at a downtown establishment or something like that, the game, Daniel refuses, my brother Harris refused to play a lot for parking. One time, dude, he seriously parked over by Elliott School, which is by the lighthouse off of O Street, like down there, like almost on 27th and O. all the way down here 2 blocks away from where we're at right now.
Was he trying to lose weight? Is there a
I
secret
don't know.
message
He was
behind
trying to
it?
lose. He wasn't trying to lose no money, but he lost about a half. He lost probably a 7th grader walking. I'm like, bro, I'm not walking. It was Raph. It was well over 100 that day, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was the Buffalo game a few years back.
That was rough. Raph, what's the temps looking like down there in H-Town, man?
I think we're like mid-80s. Perfect summer day in the fall. I love it.
Yeah,
Alabama.
perfect day in the fall. We're looking right here at 85 degrees here. Kickoff in 50 minutes. John in Cortland, good morning. Good afternoon. John says it's hotter than Hades in East Stadium. Make sure you stay hydrated, John. Make sure you stay hydrated to the rest of you. Raph, this game with Sparty is one to where I was talking with Austin about it. Appreciate Austin, DP, Jake, and Sip. Foreman, the Hall of Famer, as well as Swim, and all the guys and gals that came in for the pregame starting at noon. Of course, you'll have postgame as well with Nick and Jay as well. Then postgame. Who's going to be on that one, the postgame show?
We got volleyball tonight. I think it may be Elliot. I'd have to double check on that. Or Austin Orman.
Because we got volleyball that'll be on the ticket as well, right?
Yep, the postgame will be.
Postgame, you bet. Absolutely. So it's going to be a full, obviously a full afternoon, full night as well. Raph, Sparty, Michigan State, 11.5 underdogs. I asked Austin this, I'm going to ask you this. Do you think would that kind of piss you off a little bit, knowing that you both have the same record, Nebraska, speaking of Nebraska and Michigan State, both at 3-1, and you're an 11.5 point underdog in this game?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's always something. If you're a coach, you use that as motivation for your team. I mean, anytime you're an underdog, I mean, you always got that chip on your shoulder to where you want to prove people wrong. So I'm sure Michigan State, I'm sure their coaching staff, I'm sure they've used that as fire this week in practice, getting ready for Nebraska.
Harrison, Raph, I'll bring this to you, man. You know, Nebraska obviously coming in with Sierra Wright, Andrew Marshall, anchoring down both sides of the secondary. You got Aiden Childs, Michigan State's quarterback. And I was talking about this. You know, we haven't heard about him like you've heard the Bryce, of Underwood at Michigan. Obviously, when you're number 20 in the nation, you tend to get more pub as well. And quite honestly, Bryce, I mean, the dude is a heck of a quarterback. We've seen that, first of all, last week. But you look at Sierra Wright and you look at Andrew Marshall and the entire secondary as far as that goes. They've given up fewer than 80 total yards this season, Rap. Now, we know it goes on who you played, but you are what you are. You know what I'm saying? It's who you play is who you play. Do you think they'll be tested a little bit today in spite of the win?
I think they will. I think he's a really good quarterback. But like you were talking in the previous segment about knowing the wind and knowing those defensive backs got to play it the same way, because now if he's throwing against the wind, the ball's going to hang up a little bit longer. If he's, with the wind, it's going to get there quicker. So defensive backs, just as much as with the quarterbacks, that knowledge right there, it could prove advantageous for Nebraska, especially when he's against the wind. If he hangs something up there, that would be where our defensive backs, they've been successful all year. Like you said, that's where they can take advantage today. And maybe you'll see a couple interceptions from Nebraska today.
Raph, you played quarterback at professional level, played quarterback, ran a team, recruited quarterbacks, hired quarterbacks, etc. This win, I'm literally looking at it right now here, Harrison. There's going to be gusts of anywhere from 34 miles per hour to 30 miles per hour. As a QB, does that mess with you psychologically? Or it's in Harrison in golf? I'm not sure how much you golf.
Time to time. I've been out there. I wouldn't call myself a pro.
Oh, jeez. We golf a lot. We sure as heck aren't pros as far as that goes. But then again, his wife, Tracy, buried a birdie putt from about 20 plus feet. So I think she's better putter than all of us.
Better than me, yeah.
As far as that goes. So well done again, Mrs. Tracy Raff, on the 20-foot birdie yesterday. Raff, you think about that wind factor of it. And it's like in golf. There's that saying, Harrison, that we always say, when it's breezy, swing easy. Raph, when the wind is like this, how much do you have to psychologically keep that in? Especially, it doesn't matter if you're going against it or with the wind or against the wind. Psychologically, it's a little different for you as a QB. Did that mess with you as a quarterback? And how do you think Aiden Childs and how do you think Raiola will adjust to that when they're both facing the wind and against the wind?
I think it plays into your mental thinking, because when you pick up a ball and the wind's at your back and you're like, man, I just barely threw that and went 25 yards, and then you're going against the wind, and so you just got to adjust. And like Austin was saying, your mechanics are key. You got to keep your feet grounded. You just believe in that. Sometimes throwing against the wind is not a bad thing, because you think more about the throw, because when something's super easy and you just, you're not really setting your feet, well, I can get the ball down there 25, 30 yards with barely, just flicking my wrist. Well, when you're going against the wind, you've got to think about it a little bit more. So I don't think it's a complete detriment. It's just the throws that you make. I mean, it's there. Yeah. It's just, you just got to follow your mechanics more when your wind's in your face.
Raph, their red zone efficiency, Austin talked about this as far as Sparty goes in the red zone, which is a little flipped opposite compared to what Nebraska is doing right now. But Michigan State has scored on 16 of its 17 last trips to the red zone this season. They're good for 94% percentage. That ranks them 4th in the Big Ten and 31st overall nationally. They've scored 12 touchdowns in the red zone, including 5 rushing TDs with 4 field goals. Raph, with the inconsistency, we just got to call it like it is, Harrison and Raph. We've seen a lot of inconsistency from and I'm going to put this in there as a caveat too. We got a very young defensive line. Now, I know people are saying we're 4 games in. We're still 4 games in. The only senior we have on that defensive front is Elijah Judy. The rest of those guys are redshirt sophomores, redshirt freshmen, and freshmen as far as some of those guys that are out there. Now, with an exception of McCullough at the end. But I'm talking about strictly interior. Raph, reading what I just read about their efficiency, how is it crucial it's going to be for Nebraska to play physical, not just in the red zone, but in particular when it gets to the red zone when you're going against a team who ranks 31st nationally in that area?
Well, I was just going to say that, the last couple of weeks, which felt like to me the longest bye week in the history of Nebraska football. I don't know if it felt the same for you.
That is so true.
So what you've heard, for these last couple of weeks is not being physical enough, not supporting the run, the backside not being there for support. You've heard all this stuff. So if you're the Nebraska football team, you're coming out wanting to wrap up, be aggressive, gang tackle today. So I think you're going to see a much different Nebraska in the run support game. If it was my perfect scenario, I'd like to, make them one-dimensional and get them throwing the ball a lot today. And I think that'd bode well for Nebraska.
I like what you're thinking on that, man. It scares me, Raph, when a play breaks down and Childs begins to scramble. Because you're looking at a young interior line, and at times I'm not saying they're not coached with discipline, but sometimes when you're young, you can play on discipline in the heat of the moment because if you don't have enough reps yet and your internal clock and just mentally, you know what I'm saying, Harrison?
Yeah, well, that big hit's always juicy, and then you break, and then you lose contain.
Absolutely.
And when you're young, that's going to show up more. So
absolutely,
they got to lock in. I think Raph's right. I mean, we're still the number 1 passing defense heading into this game. Contain. There's coverage sacks. They're going to be out there if you keep contained.
Discipline and containment. Pressure or bust is what I wrote down here. Nebraska must collapse the pocket early. It's kind of what you talked about, Harrison, Raph, you as well. You cannot let Childs pick it up and just pick your defense apart. How many sacks would you like to see? Obviously, there's not a certain number, but Raph, do you think Nebraska gets at least 3 sacks today?
Yeah, I'd say they go over 3. The big thing for Nebraska too is the tackling. Like I know that against Michigan, there were some busts in coverage and we didn't really have the opportunity to tackle, but I remember that game too, where we had chances to make plays behind the line of scrimmage and we just did not make the tackles. So hopefully, they've shored that up and you'll see, and even if you can just get a hand on the guy and hold on till your teammates get there, I hope for more, efficient tackling today. I think that'll be big for Nebraska also.
Well, this is not football related, Rav. This is Jack Russell. Hurry up and get that stupid back working so we can play some golf. I miss you, brother. I miss you too, Jackaroo.
Stupid
back. See, that's
milking the back injury. Are we, AD? I see how it is.
Hey, when it comes to moving, I said my doctor said I can't help anybody for like 10 years.
all I know one thing though is if David Freehoff beats you back out onto the course, something's wrong, AD.
Yeah, this guy had a 10-hour heart surgery, and a big shout out to David Freehoff, his wife LaDonna. Dave had a 10-hour surgery yesterday, open heart surgery, 10-hour procedure. He's healing, he's doing well. So a big shout out, man. We're very grateful. We thank God for the healing that's taking place in Dave and everything that's safe with that. Raph, Harrison, what's you guys' predictions? Raph, let's start with you, man. What are you predicting on this game, man? What's your score?
My prediction today is 27-17 Nebraska, and we give Chef Bob Haney a very happy birthday. So happy birthday, Bob, and go Big Red.
Birthday, Bob. Absolutely. Harrison, what's your score today, man?
What did I say? 34-21 Huskers.
That's right. I'll say as mine. I said 34-20 Skurs. I think we get, and I'm going to go agree with Austin on this too. I think we got a very good opportunity to have two receivers over the century mark today. I think we do. So we'll see what happens with that. Folks, thanks for riding with us. From 225 to 240, got Harrison and Rudy. Not Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gress, that'll be with you. And then from 245 to 255, Harrison and Rudy will take you on until kickoff. And again, you want to stay for postgame as well, as Nick and Jay will have postgame analysis as well. Raph, love you, big fella. Enjoy it down there in Bama. Tell Mama I said hello, and that food looks amazing. I was salivating looking at my text, man, so that was wrong.
Well,
He's not going to offer.
I was throwing it to break. I don't know if Harrison was throwing it to break. I was
waiting for an offer to bring some food. You did promise bringing your mom's chocolate chip cookies down here as well. So,
yeah. Well, she's making cookies and some cheese dip, and yeah, I even got some corn dogs if need be. So I'm loaded today.
Hey, Raph, you found a gym yet?
A gym? Yes, her, Tracy.
I was going to say, no, Jim, not a G-E-M, a G-Y-M. Have you found a gym yet?
Yes, I'm going to need it. We went and checked it out last night. We're good to go. So I did lose.
The way that Mama cooks, brother, you're going to need that gym.
I lost 9 pounds this week, but I have a feeling I probably put 7 on today. So I'll be back to even on Sunday.
Raph, love you. Appreciate you, man. Harrison, thanks so much for riding. Folks, stick next. Harrison will be up along with Rudy to talk some more Husker before kickoff. Kickoff right now is less than 40 minutes. We'll be back, folks. I was going to say it's the drive. It's the pregame on the ticket. We'll be right back.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Schaefer's is celebrating its 79th anniversary with special rebates,
financing,
savings, and free delivery store-wide.
Update your home with innovative Samsung appliances and save up to an additional $900 with rebates. Samsung Innovation saves you energy and time with easy-to-connect appliance technology. Plus, during Schaefer's anniversary, get free delivery on your appliance purchase.
So hurry in during Schaefer's 79th anniversary event, going on now.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Select Plumbing.
All right, welcome back into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. I got Rudy joining me on this segment, and this segment sponsored by Select Plumbing, now servicing Seward and Milford, in addition to the Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. Again, Select Plumbing, 402-542-5319 if you need to give those guys a call. Rudy, how's it going on a warm day here for Husker game day? I wasn't anticipating about 88 degrees, but I was getting some comments. The South Side is absolutely cooking in the stadium. How are you feeling on game day with Michigan State coming in about 30 minutes?
Yeah, no, I feel good. I think it's going to be a game that definitely, I think Husker fans should be excited. I don't think Michigan State's a light opponent either, but I think it's one that it'll make for a good Saturday for sure. I think the weather is as hot as it's probably going to get. I think it's great. It's better than being cold, but definitely not what I expected on an October 4th type of day, but it is what it is. I think it's going to be a good game. The wind's obviously going to play a factor today, so I'm looking forward to that, but not much to complain about on a Saturday like this, so.
No, and maybe if you're Michigan State standing on that black turf for the rest of the game, it's going to be cooking on those guys, which is a little bit of a benefit for us. But yeah, the wind's definitely going to play a factor in it. Who do you think that favors, or is it just a neutral talking point? Because Childs and Michigan State, very similar. They like to go through the air more often than not. Childs is a pretty solid quarterback. Yeah. He's only got one pick on the year, I believe. 9 touchdowns as well. Yeah, so he's putting together a pretty good season. He's throwing at about 70% completion rating. But again, he's going to have to deal with the same wind that Dylan Raiola is dealing with.
Yeah, I think something that benefits Raiola specifically in the Huskers, I think like we've seen it too. There's times we talk about it like, yeah, we want to see him air it down a little deeper sometimes, but I think he's really well at like his mid game right now, and I think that's going to play perfectly because like he doesn't have to change what he's been doing. He's going to still look for like the good options over the middle or just on the sideline. So I don't think it'll benefit the Huskers per se, but I think it's definitely going to be something that doesn't affect Raiola as much as I think it'll affect Childs at all.
Yeah, it's going to be, well, a crazy stat for Nebraska. They are the only team so far this season in FBS to not allow a pass over 20 yards. And again, you get the number one secondary heading into this game. The next closest team, everybody else that's in second place, they all have 4 or more. So Nebraska not giving up one up until this point. It's a great step. But again, it really shows the strength of that secondary that Nebraska's been playing with. The problem is going to be contained. Do you trust what is a very young defensive line today to maintain contain? Because if you let Childs go, he can throw it, but he's also a great athlete. Me and DP were talking about it. You know, if he's rolling out of the pocket and he sees Singleton, he's reading the last name. That means he's going to start running up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it definitely starts there. Like, you got to be able to have a spy on him, be able to have someone kind of just containing him, I think. And that's something that I don't think we're going to struggle with per se, because I do think Michigan State's offensive line's I think we're starting to see some shakiness there, in my opinion. But I think it is going to be something like, it's all about how you contain him, because obviously the quarterback of the game is going to run through him. But like you're saying, whether he's going to take off with it or not, him just being able to get into that open space and let the play develop even longer, I think that's something that not that we're going to have trouble with, but I think that's where we're going to kind of see something that we haven't seen too much up until this point. And so I think it's all about how they bounce it off of that, honestly.
And then when you see a spread for Michigan State, I think the last time I checked, it was 14.5 and went back down 13.5. Currently, that's the spread. When you see a spread like that, does that give you confidence or make you nervous?
I think in years past, it'd make me a little nervous. I think right now that's fair, though. I think the line's fine, but I think as far as like what people are saying around here, I think kind of got to have a little more respect for Michigan State. I don't think it's going to be necessarily a close finish by any means, but I think it's one that kind of maybe pump the brakes a little bit. Both are 3-1 unranked coming into this. So I don't know. I think people are kind of looking a little too far ahead, in my opinion. But I don't think we're going to lose. I don't think it's going to be super close, but I don't know how I feel about the spread right now.
Yeah, it always makes me nervous. I can put the dots together and understand why the spread's as big as it is, right? Nebraska's got a bye week. They've had a lot of time to lock in on Michigan State and that offense and that defense, understand their weaknesses. You get them at home. The home environment's been great all season long. It's a beautiful day in Lincoln, Nebraska, although I'm sure that didn't affect the spread at all. But if you look at ESPN's matchup predictor, again, make of this what you will, 86% chance Nebraska to pull this one off. And currently the over-under is 48.5. Nebraska minus 500 on the money line. Again, 1-900 bets off. If you got problems with it, I always say don't do it if you don't need to. But nonetheless, showing you that Vegas is buying into Nebraska football a lot. On the offensive side of the ball, you've been seeing Ja'Cory Barney, really that last game in particular, have some big moments. Who do you think are going to be some of the key guys on offense tonight for the Huskers?
Yeah, I think for me still, I'm going to just keep going on our run game. I think Emmett Johnson's going to have something that kind of disrupts what the defense is kind of building for Michigan State over there. I do like how Dylan Raiola is just spreading the ball around, though, too. Like, yeah, he's going to hit his guys, but at the same time, like, I think something that benefits Nebraska compared to other just D1 football teams in the country is, like, a lot of guys have that one guy they go to. And not that we don't, but it's kind of like it's hard to contain one guy when you got 4 guys doing the same thing. And I think that's going to benefit us a lot today. So I don't know. I'm expecting the run game to be just as solid as it's been. And I think it's more about who Raiola kind of spreads it to versus just certain people, in my opinion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think one of the guys we're going to spread it out to, again, factoring in the win today, and I think we'll run into situations where that short passing game might be better in our favor. I'm looking for a big Luke Lindenmeyer kind of game.
Okay, yeah.
It feels like a night where he's going to be a high volume target, or even Heinrich Harburg if he gets in the game as well. But I think those underneath passes, just kind of depending on when that wind is really blowing. So I'm expecting Luke Lindenmeyer to probably have a big game, and he's been one of the more impressive players to start the season for me. You know, we talk about it all the time, the yak yards, like he so far, and that's what you want your tight end to do. You get the big body downfield, you expect him to break one, but it's not only that he's, falling forward, breaking tackles, really good footwork. He's had some great plays on the sideline where he's somehow keeping his feet in bounds and getting, moving the chains not once, but even a couple extra chains for him. So Luke Lindenmeyer, I've been really optimistic on how he's developed. I think he'll have a pretty solid game. Running backs wise, what are you thinking for Emmett Johnson? We really struggled last week. You were playing Michigan, but Emmett Johnson, quite a bit of carries, but was nowhere near that 100-yard mark.
Yeah, I obviously I want to go out there and say, like, I do hope he gets 100 yards and does more than that. But I think too, like that Michigan game, how many yards did he finish with in that? He finished with 65. And so even that, like obviously taking a step back from where he was at, but I think even if you can just work him in there, get him to 75 and up like we got against Houston Christian, I think that opens up the game too. And I think that's kind of the role I'm seeing him in is like, I do think he's going to go out there and get good yardage today, but I also think at the same time, like if they can draw more attention to him with how aggressive he is and how much of an impact he has with the ball in his hand, like again, it just opens doors up for so many other options too. So I don't know. We'll see. I want to see him get at least like 80 and up. I think that'd be a comfortable number, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's always, how many carries is he getting?
Yeah.
70 plus yards on reasonable carries. Again, with our passing offense, I think that should be enough, but you'd love to see 100 plus.
Oh, yeah.
I think Pritchett may be making that start today. I'm not sure if that's quite official yet. I've been waiting for an update, but if he does, another big opportunity for him to, go grab that spot. If you want to go play starting, you want to be that, I don't know if it's official, but that $1 million NIL transfer player, you better be starting. That's kind of the expectation. And it's not always fair, coming into a new program, but if he can just have a good game, again, avoid penalties. I know that's kind of what his biggest downfall was earlier in the year, was just shooting ourselves in the foot by false starts. He's going to have an opportunity. We do got Drew and Wahoo, and you guys can join in. We only got a little bit of time here left before we got to go ahead and wrap it up here. One more segment on the other side. 402-464-5685. You can join the streams as well. Comment on there. But Drew and Wahoo says, Harburg breakout game. And he also says, I would like to see Carter Nelson get some touches. I'm confused on his lack of targets. I think there's just a lot of guys on the team that deserve touches right now. I think that's the problem. And Carter Nelson being one of the younger guys, I would like to see him get more involved. But the way the offense so far has been operating, where would you kind of put him out there?
Yeah.
You really, maybe for Harburg, but for the most part, Lindenmeyer has been solid. Harburg's kind of one of your leaders on the team. But I will say there might be some packages where he gets in there. But I've been a little bit perplexed by it, but I'm not totally shocked. Do you think you see some Carter Nelson today?
I think I'm just as confused as well, just because of that. Like, we haven't seen him. I don't believe he got in that Houston Christian game, did he? Right? Like, was he one of the few guys that didn't, or was it the one before that against Akron?
It might have been. I can't remember off the top of my head, but one of those games.
Yeah, one of those games he didn't get in there, and like they asked Rule about it too. And even at that, it was I'm confused on why he's not getting touches either. But I also think it's kind of one of those things where it's a good problem to have in terms of Husker fans as a Husker just watcher and enjoyer. But like, I think it's something that, like you're saying, there's just so many guys that not deserve more or less to be out there, but kind of just have that role already go in their favor. So I think maybe if the score doesn't get out of hand, but maybe if we see him in certain packages, sure. But I don't expect him to kind of get some touches today. Like you're saying, there's just too many guys in that room who are making too much of an impact to kind of just put them out right now.
Yeah, and this isn't a game where I'd want to try to get cute with it. I'm going to go with what's working, and Luke Lindenmeyer has been great. Harburg's had his moments as well. He seems to be getting better as the games go on here. But yeah, if there's a certain situation where you like it matchup-wise, maybe. But as of right now, I think that's just kind of the answer. There's a lot of guys right now that you'd like to give the ball to, with Hunter, Key, and then Corey Barney's kind of picking up where he left off as well. And then the running back room, another good opportunity for Emmett Johnson. If the rushing yards aren't there, we get into that short passing game, those checkdowns. I think Emmett Johnson can be pretty big there.
Oh, yeah.
Ives, Mosey, Mekhi Nelson as well. Those guys, I'm curious to see, how deep we go into that running back room. If this is another Michigan game where it's just Emmett Johnson over and over and over, or if we mix it up a little bit more in that room. And at the end of the day, if the linemen don't block, that's kind of doesn't really matter who you got at the running back position. But I think I'm going to say the most obvious part that everyone's been talking about all, since we lost to Michigan. This game's in the trenches.
Yeah.
And if Nebraska's ever going to catch up to the Ohio States, the Penn States, the Oregons, the great teams that we consider to be in the Big Ten, you have to be good in the trenches. You go watch the college football playoffs, you're not going to see a weak offensive or defensive line on any of those teams. And, even Arizona State last year, you might not think one of the best pass protections you saw. So you gotta get that part right. And again, that's why I mentioned Pritchett earlier. Big opportunity for him to go ahead and take that spot by the horns and become that starting left tackle. Before we go to break, I'll ask you, because we're going to talk about some other college football scores on the other side. What is your score prediction for Michigan State?
I'm probably going to go, I think it'll be a decently scoring game for sure. So I'm going to go 34-20 Nebraska. That's where I'll be sitting at.
34-20 Nebraska. I went 34-21. We're pretty close right there. I always get a little bit nervous when I call for these big wins, but I kind of like what I'm hearing and like what I'm seeing out of the guys. All right, don't go anywhere. We got one more segment on the other side. Again, this segment was sponsored by Select Plumbing. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk to you guys in just a little bit.
Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herb Street's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by A1 Automotive.
All right, welcome back in. Last segment right here of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. We got Nebraska versus Michigan State at home. It's also homecoming. And so big opportunity for them. I will say, Rudy, one thing I am looking for, let's get the home streak going.
Oh, yeah.
Nebraska's been lacking in a home streak. Make Memorial Stadium feared once again.
Yep.
But before we talk some more college football, Rudy, let's shout out our sponsor.
Of course, yeah. The last segment of the day is sponsored by A1 Automotive. Always honest answers. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, and now at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Absolutely. And just for anybody who's curious, the longest home winning streak Nebraska had, 91 through 98, 47 games.
Wow.
That's an intimidating environment to play in. So Nebraska, you got Michigan State in here. You couldn't get it done versus Michigan. So the streaks right now is 0. Get a win here and make Memorial Stadium an intimidating place to play once again. Let's go through some other scores, though. Right now, which could be a decider for who wins the Big 12, Iowa State catching up to Cincinnati, 38-30. Cincinnati started off really strong, but I think if you watch Beck at this point, Beck's dangerous. You know, you're never too far away when Beck is quarterbacking the other team. And he's done a great job so far keeping those guys in the game. He's 29 for 46, 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Watch out for that man. But Cincinnati does have the lead. They'll probably have to punt here. 4th and 18 at the Cincinnati 41. Wake Forest leading Virginia Tech 27-20. You got UTSA and Temple. Temple leading 24-21. Little shocker there. NC State blew out Campbell 49-7. And what's some other notable games? Oklahoma State 3 to Arizona's 14. Texas and Florida. I was wrong. I didn't think Florida would have a chance of scoring anytime early. 6-0. Florida leading the Texas Longhorns. Boise State, Notre Dame just kicking off here. The score is 0 on that one. Appalachian State has 9 on Oregon State already. And let's see here. Some other games. Everything else just about kicking off here. Another shocker. UCLA leading Penn State 6-0.
Wow.
Given 10 minutes, 32 seconds into the game. These are all very early scores.
We'll take it.
Vanderbilt, Alabama just kicked off. It is 0-0 there. You got Washington, Maryland, and of course, Michigan State, Nebraska going to be kicking off here shortly. Which games are you really interested in seeing the final result of today?
Yeah, I think obviously no bias here. I'm going to go Texas, Florida, just because it's a game that whoever comes out of it's going to have a horrible look. I think Florida, if they lose, it's definitely going to be like, okay, one, season's over in my eyes for them. 2, it's like, okay, Lagaway is not what everyone thinks he is. But the exact same way it could flip for Texas. It's like if Arch Manning goes in there, has another horrible performance, it's like, okay, maybe this dude's not where we think he is. And I'm obviously a Longhorn fan, but I'm starting to doubt Arch Manning. So this is a game where you go into the swamp, you get it done. It's like, okay, you shut me up. But you come out of there with a loss, it's one that just keeps feeding more fuel to the haters. And I'm not looking forward to that if we do lose, but I think that one's up there. I am excited to see what that Vanderbilt and Alabama game looks like, though. That one's I'll be tuning in for that once I get the chance for sure, because that'll be a good one.
Yeah, and that one is in Bama. So Vanderbilt can pull off that upset. That's huge for Diego Pavia and company. But yeah, I agree with you that Texas-Florida game, and it was a touchdown. They got the PAT after it, so 7-0. But, I mean, if Texas doesn't win this one, you're kind of wondering, like, what's going on here? And if it's Manning's problem, then you might have to have some serious doubts, because I think Manning can be a very good quarterback, but it's not like he's a true freshman.
Yeah.
Like Dylan Raiola was last year or Underwood is this year. So maybe not always fair, but you're a little harder on the critiques. Even though he hasn't started year in, year out, it's not like he's a young guy in there. He's been around the offense. He should know what to be looking for, and we'll have to wait and see. I don't think Texas has had the ball yet, considering the game just started. But nonetheless, Lagway, 4 for 4, 31 yards. The running back, 8 carries, 39 yards, and 1 touchdown. A little good of balance for Florida at home in that one. Other games going on, like I said, Cincinnati, Iowa State, waiting for the result of that one. Washington, Maryland. Maryland's a little bit friskier than I think people give them credit for. I'm curious to see what the result is of that. Washington, after taking a brutal beating to Iowa State at home, their home game winning streak comes to an end. See if they can get a little bit of revenge on that one. You also got big game later tonight, Miami and Florida State. Number 3, Miami at number 18, Florida State. Who you got in this one?
I want to say Florida State, but I think Miami is just too complete of a team to kind of let that one go. I think it'll be a good game for sure. Obviously, Florida State, they look like they're creating something a lot better than last year, which was not a high bar to set. But I think Miami's just on both sides of the ball. They look really elite. I think one of their linebackers is kind of getting Heisman talks already. So it's like, okay, like they're getting it done on both sides of the ball. Carson Beck's kind of showing that he's what he was. So as much as it pains me to kind of go for them in this one, I think they're going to pull it out.
I agree with you. I'm going Miami as well. Let's talk about some of the final scores that have already concluded before we go ahead and wrap up here. You did have, we'll pick the bigger games. I'm not going to give you every single one. Baylor beat Kansas State 35-34 in a really close game. Clemson, not a good year for Bill Belichick and the boys. I don't think anybody should be surprised. I think they have like 40 plus transfers.
Yeah.
It's a new team. You weren't expecting much, but good for Clemson to get right. Pittsburgh beat the brakes off of Boston College 48-7. Illinois beats Purdue 43-27. Michigan a little bit close at half, but they do pull away 24-10. Michigan beats Wisconsin, and Georgia handles Kentucky pretty easily 35-14. All right, Rudy, we got, let's see, just about a little less than a minute here. Give me 3 keys to the game. They're going to be offense, defense, special teams for Nebraska.
Yeah, I think we kind of spoke on one already. The trenches, I think on both ends too, like how that line can kind of contain Childs and how our line can kind of build for what our running backs can set up. So I got that being one of them. I think Raiola kind of just staying true to what he's been doing in that short game is going to be huge. And then lastly, I think kind of controlling the clock here. The less that they can hold the ball is always a good thing. But I think the way that we kind of go about our business with our running backs, short passes, you have to maintain that ball longer than the other team. Because if you just go down there and score real quick, like I'm not too confident in the way they're going to contain Childs. So I think holding on to it, chewing the clock is going to be huge today.
Absolutely. Not too far off. First point, you got one of the best passing defenses in the country. Yep. Utilize it. That means keep contained. That means if you just, like I said, I say it all day long, keep contained. There's going to be some coverage sacks opportunities out there for you. Turnovers, keep it clean. Dylan Raiola has been doing a good job at that. And of course, the trenches. Can the guys get some push there after, a lot of negative talk? I'm sure they're pretty annoyed by it, might even be pissed off by it.
Yeah.
Show up and prove everybody wrong. And I think they have a good opportunity to do so. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. This has been the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Shout out to all of our sponsors, as always, for making it happen. A1 Automotive, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, the Kindler Hotel, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Raising Cane's, Currency, Select Plumbing, and of course, A1 Automotive once again. But don't go anywhere. We're going to have National on the airwaves if you want to listen to that. But in the meantime, be sure to join us when the clock hits 0. We will have the post-game show. Nick Sander, Jay Foreman. Appreciate you guys listening. This has been the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Does Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit stonebrookexterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
It's game day, Husker fans. Max Tan celebrates the Huskers and the amazing athletes who bring the energy every game. Right now, experience the 2025 season tour. High-pressure tanning, red light therapy, and spray tanning for just $20.25. Max Tan keeps you looking and feeling your best all season long. Max Tan, shining bright with Husker pride. Take it to the max and go Big Red.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from